In this scene, Kazusayu faces a monstrous beast, reflecting on his survival in the world of VL. His companions, a silver-haired girl and a blonde girl, stand determined by his side. With a decisive shout, Kazusa signals the end of the battle. Kazusayu recalls the day before his camping trip, which he had eagerly anticipated. He describes how he got into a car accident and died, marking the beginning of his journey into the new world. He wakes up in an unfamiliar forest, taking in his strange new surroundings. He looks around, confused and disoriented, realizing that he has been reincarnated into a different world. He, bewildered and anxious, questions where he is and realizes he is uninjured despite the accident. He comes to the startling conclusion that he is in another world. Kazusayu marvels at the vibrant, unfamiliar flora around him, particularly the striking blue leaves. He wonders if they are edible, but quickly realizes he can't be complacent in this strange situation. His possessions are a towel, a stainless bento box, 2 plastic bottles, a cutter inside a pencil case, and a few other items. Realizing the importance of finding supplies, he acknowledges that water is a priority. As he surveys the environment, he notices the temperature and humidity are similar to Japan, but the plants and animals are entirely unfamiliar. Suddenly, he spots a strange creature in the distance. He realizes that his knowledge from survival shows might come in handy. Recalling tips about finding water, he feels lucky to discover a clear stream nearby. This stream could be a vital resource for his survival in this new world. This discovery is crucial, as it provides a source of water in this unfamiliar world. Feeling somewhat reassured, he examines the stream and finds crustaceans, which suggests the water is safe to drink. Trusting this knowledge, he decides to drink from the stream, hoping his understanding of survival rules still applies in this new world. The water from the stream is incredibly pure and delicious, a quality never experienced on Earth. He marvels at its refreshing taste and contemplates its exceptional quality, then decides to explore further, staying focused on survival. Using his cutter and plastic bottle, he sets a trap, hoping to catch something. He then constructs a makeshift shelter to sleep in, which should protect him from rain and insects. With the shelter done, he turns his attention to finding food. His trap successfully catches several freshwater creatures. Reflecting on his unexpected use of survival knowledge, he starts a fire to cook his catch. Sitting by the fire, he prepares for his first meal in this new world, feeling a mix of relief and determination. He examines the strange shape of the creature he caught, amazed by its unique features. Reminding himself that he needs to eat to survive, he stops being amazed and prepares the creature for cooking, acknowledging the reality of being in a different world. As he prepares the creature, he realizes its structure is tougher than expected. He contemplates the best way to handle it without injuring himself. Despite the difficulty, he continues to work on it, determined to make the creature edible. He finds a suitable leaf to use and decides to grill the creature despite some concerns. Suddenly, he feels an inexplicable sensation, as if something unusual is about to happen. He senses a bad premonition about the creatures he has captured. Examining them closely, he realizes they will soon become unusable if not cooked. Reflecting on his situation, he acknowledges that he must adapt quickly to survive in this new world. He gazes at the night sky, marveling at the beauty of the stars, unobstructed by smog. As he reflects on the serene environment, he feels a sense of calm. He notices the shell of the creature has softened after cooking. Taking a deep breath, he prepares to eat it, reminding himself that he must adapt to survive. He takes his first bite, hoping for the best. The taste is surprisingly delicious, resembling crab or shrimp, but the texture isn't perfect, and some sand got under the shell. He realizes that with better preparation, the meal could be much tastier. Despite this, he is thankful for the food and determined to improve his survival skills. He decides to steam the creatures next, hoping for a better result. While preparing them, he notices tiny eggs inside one of the creatures. This discovery intrigues him, realizing there is much to learn about the new world's flora and fauna. He realizes too late that the tiny eggs might be poisonous. Panicking, he tries to spit out the food, feeling the effects of the poison taking hold. The situation quickly turns dire as he struggles to cope with the unexpected danger. After the initial panic, he realizes the bad feeling he had earlier was a reaction to the poison in the eggs. He discovers he has gained the ability to sense poison, an invaluable skill for his survival. Excited by this newfound power, he looks forward to using it to safely navigate this new world. Feeling hopeful, he believes that with his new ability, things might work out. As he looks at the moonlit sky, he reflects on his chances of survival. Deciding to turn in for the night, he resolves to get busy the next day. The next morning, he wakes up early, noting that it is still dark. As he stretches and prepares to start the day, he contemplates the challenges ahead, ready to continue his journey in this new world. He stretches, ready to face the challenges of the new day. Determined to make the most of his situation, he considers climbing a mountain to better understand the geography of the surrounding area. With renewed energy and resolve, he sets out to explore and learn more about this world. While exploring, he comes across some fruits that look delicious but decides against eating them due to uncertainty about their safety. He then encounters a yellow squirrel, which piques his curiosity. He continues to navigate the forest, keen to learn more about this strange new world. He spots a tree bearing unusual fruits, sparking his curiosity and desire despite his earlier caution. Determined to get a closer look, he decides to climb the tree, hoping the fruits might be edible. While trying to climb the tree, he slips, losing his grip. As he plummets toward the ground, he realizes he might not escape uninjured from this fall. He panics as he falls, desperately thinking that he doesn't want to die. It feels like everything might be over for him. Waking up, he realizes he's alive and unharmed despite the fall. He looks at his hands, confused about what just happened and how he survived such a fall. He finds himself on the ground, unharmed except for a slight pain in his arm. Looking at his hands, he wonders if he twisted his wrist during the fall. The unexpected survival makes him question what just happened. As he examines his wrist, he notices something peculiar. Despite the fall, he doesn't feel any pain or impact. Looking closer, he realizes his skin seems tougher, almost like a hard shell, reminiscent of the creatures he's encountered. Exploring the forest, he notices peculiar, plus-sign-shaped fruits growing on a tree. He approaches them with curiosity, realizing they might be beneficial. Seeing a hollow in the tree with strange round objects inside, he smiles, feeling a sense of discovery and excitement in this unfamiliar world. Standing at the edge of a cliff, he marvels at the vast forest below, feeling the powerful presence of nature. He examines his hardened hand, reflecting on his new ability. Despite the lack of any signs of civilization, he remains hopeful and determined to explore what lies beyond the mountain. Taking a moment to rest, he acknowledges that this isn't the time to feel down, and he must continue his journey. He sits on a rock, focusing intently. After a moment of concentration, he confirms to himself that he can emit a hard aura. This new discovery excites him, and he can't help but express his enthusiasm. Determined to make the most of this ability, he starts practicing, feeling optimistic about his survival prospects. He contemplates how the shrimp he cooked became soft after going through fire. He realizes that he might have gained the shrimp's hardness after eating it, giving him an unexpected resilience. He concludes that he has acquired the power to steal the abilities of the creatures he consumes. Kazusayu discovers he has gained two powers, the ability to identify poison by sight and the ability to get stronger the more he eats. Realizing the true nature of his abilities, he acknowledges his newfound power, calling it eating. He, motivated by his new powers, decides to eat a fruit for energy, only to find it extremely sour. On his 5th day of survival in the new world, he reflects on the 3 things he has figured out since arriving. He realizes that while his power to identify poison is incredibly useful, it isn't all-powerful. Despite his ability to consume and gain strength, he hasn't acquired new abilities since his initial fall. He remains cautious and prepares to continue his survival with the tools he has. The fruit from the tree has a strange attraction for living things, drawing them towards it. This tree lures creatures to a dangerous precipice, making them slip and fall, where its roots then consume them. Reflecting on this, he realizes he would have been a victim too if he hadn't gained the hardening ability. Now prepared, he anticipates the next challenge. A small animal, which should have been scared, charges at him with full speed. Observing this unusual behavior, he realizes it is not just an attraction, but an allure that drew the creature towards him. While using the allure ability, he realizes that he appears as a very attractive piece of food to creatures. This complexity makes him cautious. Happy about his first opportunity to eat animal meat since arriving, he plans to get his hands on some salt as soon as possible to enhance the taste. Hearing a human voice, he hesitates, unsure whether to help. Realizing the danger, he considers the risk of rescuing someone he doesn't even know. However, with his hardening ability, he decides to at least check the situation and rushes toward the source of the noise. Realizing the source of the voice is near the tree with the alluring fruits, he understands it wasn't a ferocious animal, but a human drawn to the fruit. This discovery makes him cautious, knowing he shouldn't relax just yet. He rushes towards the source of the noise and finds an unconscious girl near the tree with alluring fruits. He is shocked to discover it's a girl, which makes him cautious about the situation. He observes her unusual silver hair, noting it's his first time seeing such a color. Despite his efforts, she doesn't wake up, making him wonder if she, like him, was teleported to this world. This discovery makes him realize that there must be other people in this world too. He finishes cooking a pot of stew and adds conifer needles to try and mask the strong animal smell. Despite his efforts, the smell remains potent. Tasting the stew, he finds it unpleasant, comparing the strong umami flavor to a badger or squirrel. He acknowledges that adding the conifer needles was a good idea for nutrition. Even though the result is not enjoyable, he takes a bite of the meat and finds it delicious, savoring the sweetness of the fat spreading through his mouth. Although it doesn't surpass a supermarket pork cutlet, the taste of meat he hasn't had in a while brings him joy. He relaxes, appreciating the simple pleasure of eating meat, when he suddenly notices something unexpected. He tends to the unconscious girl, checking her condition. As she slowly wakes up, her eyes flutter open, and she looks around, disoriented. She starts to speak loudly in her confusion, but he quickly urges her to be quiet, worried that the noise might attract the fire-eating wolf back to their camp. Several minutes later, they sit quietly by the campfire, both lost in thought. The girl looks around, clearly confused and unsure of what to do. He contemplates how to communicate with her, realizing she might not understand his language. Their silence is broken by the loud growl of her stomach, indicating her hunger. He offers her some food, noticing her hunger. She hesitates at first, but then accepts it. As she eats, it's clear she must be very hungry. Despite the food having a strong odor, she seems to appreciate the meal. He is relieved to have met another human, but faces the problem of communication. The girl thanks him in broken Japanese, revealing she is using translation magic. He is surprised and apologizes for assuming she wouldn't understand his language, acknowledging that it might be difficult for her to comprehend. She thanks him for saving her and apologizes for being scared. He reassures her and asks about her injuries. She says she can use healing magic, but will need 3 weeks to recover. They introduce themselves. Her name is Clara, and his is Kazusa Yu. Clara explains that she came looking for medicinal herbs, but hadn't eaten for 2 days, and was starving when she saw the charmed tree. She tells him that in this world, things with special abilities, like the tree, are called monsters. He asks if she wants to return to her village, but she thanks him for saving her, saying she would have died without his help. He suggests carrying her on his back to the village, but she thinks it would be difficult due to her injured leg. She explains that the village is beyond the mountains, which are full of dangerous monsters. She feels sorry that she can't walk and it will take 3 weeks to heal. He understands the situation and agrees that it makes sense. She asks if she can stay with him for a while until she heals. He looks surprised but considers her request. He suggests that she stay with him until she heals, as it's impossible for her to walk through the mountains with her injury. He reassures her that staying is the best option, even if it feels uncomfortable. She is initially confused but agrees, understanding there's no safe place for her to go right now. He reassures her that he won't abandon her and that it's good to have someone around. She feels useless and thinks he should leave her behind, but he encourages her, saying her presence will motivate him. He mentions he enjoys trying different ingredients, hoping this will make their time together more enjoyable. Tears well up in Clara's eyes as she agrees to stay. He reassures her, saying they'll probably be okay, and asks her to lead him to her village once she heals. She tearfully responds with a grateful yes. They decide to turn in for the night, knowing that sleep is important. As they prepare to rest, she agrees with a smile. Looking up at the moon, he reflects that things will get busy again from tomorrow. The next we will focus on acquiring rock salt and making mountain clear soup. He, carrying his backpack, ventures into the forest, curious about what he might find. He spots a tree with ripe fruit and decides to investigate further. Approaching the tree, he examines the fruit closely, noting that they look ripe and ready to pick. He starts gathering the fruit, thinking about how they could be used in their next meal. Kazusa's keen eye and resourcefulness keep him focused as he collects enough for their needs, ready to return to camp and share his findings with the group. He successfully picks a fruit from the tree, feeling triumphant. As he gathers more, he reflects on how his time in this new world has made him feel stronger and healthier. He attributes this positive change to the nutritious and delicious food he has been eating. Satisfied with his harvest, he heads back to camp, eager to share the fresh fruit and his newfound energy with his companions. He ventures into the forest, picks some wild fruit, and finds a sweet blue leaf. He gathers a bunch, thinking they will be useful, and heads back to camp to share his findings. He He continues his exploration and arrives at a stunning viewpoint. He takes a moment to admire the magnificent scenery, feeling a sense of awe and appreciation for the natural beauty surrounding him. He discovers rock salt and tastes it to confirm. Excited about the find, he collects enough to enhance their meals, feeling lucky to have found it in the mountains. With his backpack filled, he heads back to camp, eager to share his discovery with his companions. He finds seashells on top of the rock salt, curious about their presence in the mountains. He inspects them for any signs of poison but finds none. Intrigued by their potential taste, he decides to collect a few. Feeling satisfied with his discoveries for the day, he prepares to head back to camp with a sense of anticipation for trying out these new ingredients. He returns to camp and is warmly greeted by his companion. He happily shares his discoveries, feeling proud of the supplies he gathered. The mood is cheerful as they prepare to enjoy a meal together, looking forward to tasting the new ingredients Kazusa found. He shows the gathered items to his companion, who is amazed by the variety. He reassures her that they are safe to eat, explaining his ability to detect poison. She is particularly interested in the blue leaves, which she recognizes as rare. They look forward to incorporating these new ingredients into their meals. He describes the blue leaves as sweet and sour with a nice fragrance. His companion recognizes them as manhwa herbs, a rare and precious item. She is surprised by their value, noting that they could sustain a family for half a year. This discovery excites them both as they consider the potential uses and benefits. He explains that manhwa herbs are vital for mages because they help recover magic power faster. The rarity and importance of these herbs make them highly valuable. They discuss the benefits and decide to eat them together, recognizing the opportunity to enhance their abilities. She eats the manhwa herb and feels her magic power quickly recovering. Enjoying the sweet taste, she expresses her amazement at the herb's effectiveness. Her restored energy brings a sense of relief and satisfaction, confirming the herb's value. She asks for another manhwa herb, but he suggests saving them for dessert after their meal. Instead, they decide to start with the salt rolls, which are popular snacks found far from villages, typically enjoyed by hunters. They enjoy their meal, appreciating the unique flavors and ingredients. He explains that the food can be eaten raw or grilled with the shell. However, eating it raw sometimes causes poisoning. They discuss seasoning options and decide that the food tastes good as is, but can also be seasoned with garum. Excited to try it out, they prepare to enjoy their meal. They prepare the meal by boiling salt rolls, wild grass, and rock salt in water. As the aroma fills the air, it reminds them of boiling mushrooms and the mountain's fragrance. With the dish ready, they eagerly await tasting the flavors they have created. The mountain clear soup is ready, looking clear and delicious. They note its unique fragrance, different from yesterday's meal. Excited to taste it, they prepare to dig in, appreciating the effort put into making this hearty dish. As they taste the mountain clear soup, they feel a sense of coziness and nostalgia. The rich, penetrating flavor of the soup, combined with its unique mountain fragrance, makes it a truly delightful mountain harvest. They enjoy the meal, appreciating the comforting and satisfying experience. As they savor the soup, they appreciate its springy texture and hearty consistency. Each bite releases a rich, dashy flavor, making the meal both delicious and satisfying. They enjoy the unique culinary experience, feeling content and nourished. They notice the innards have a different, subtler fragrance compared to the mushroomy smell of the body. Enjoying the gentle and rich flavors, they find the meal delicious. After finishing, they look forward to moving on to dessert, appreciating the unique culinary experience. He suggests boiling the leaves down into syrup or jam. His companion is intrigued and wants to try it, though they recognize the difference in perspective between their world and Earth. They reflect on the unique experiences and culinary possibilities they can explore together. He asks Clara to teach him more about this world. She is curious but agrees to share her knowledge. They sit together by the fire, ready to learn and explore the world's intricacies. She readily agrees to teach him, expressing her enjoyment of teaching. They discuss how asking questions is natural when learning about something new. He thanks her, and she assures him that she is happy to be of help. 3 days later, he has made significant progress in learning simple magic from Clara. She praises his quick learning abilities, and they both express happiness in understanding each other's language. The translation magic Clara taught him has allowed them to communicate effectively, deepening their bond and enhancing their mutual understanding. He asks if using magic for translation affects her ability to heal. She explains that translation magic requires very little magic power and doesn't interfere with her healing abilities. She reassures him that she has plenty of magic power and appreciates the delicious food he provides. With this understanding, they continue their lessons without worry. In this world, healing magic is considered high grade. Clara explains that while simple recovery magic restores stamina, advanced healing magic can regrow bones. A healthy diet containing mana-rich foods, like the mana herb, enhances magic power recovery. He realizes that his vitality in this world is due to the superior nutrition compared to Earth. She notices that he seems to have figured something out. He acknowledges her observation, indicating that she can tell when he has had a realization. They both feel a sense of connection and understanding as they continue their conversation. Suddenly, a giant deer-like creature appears, startling them. Recognizing the danger, they prepare to face the unexpected threat. The enormous deer, known as the Lord of the Mountain, roars fiercely. It's a notorious beast, having claimed the lives of many hunters. They prepare themselves for a dangerous confrontation. He realizes they can't win and decides to distract the beast. He shouts and runs to lure the creature away, urging Clara to follow him quickly. He runs, making sure the beast follows him. He readies his weapon, focusing his energy and activating hardening for protection. He braces himself as the beast charges at him. He concentrates, ready to unleash his power. He barely dodges the charging beast, feeling the rush of air as it passes by. He steadies himself, gripping his weapon tightly, ready to counterattack. As the ferocious beast charges again, he realizes its incredible speed. He focuses intently, feeling a surge of adrenaline. Suddenly, he can perceive the beast's movements with startling clarity. Using his newfound clarity, he evades the beast's charge and leaps onto its back. He lands a powerful strike, feeling confident in his abilities. "I'm not half bad," he mutters, ready for the next move. The beast roars in frustration, its charge slowing down. He takes a moment to analyze its movements, realizing the delay in its attacks due to inertia. "That's my chance," he mutters, gripping his weapon tightly. He prepares for a strategic strike, determined to take advantage of the beast's weakness. As he braces himself, Clara's urgent shout breaks his focus. "Watch out. A charge is coming." Her voice cuts through the tension, and he quickly pivots, eyes widening as he sees the beast bearing down on him. He readies himself to dodge, hoping his reflexes are quick enough to avoid the powerful attack. With the beast charging at full speed, his eyes widen in realization of the imminent danger. He tightens his grip on his weapon, preparing for the impact. The ground shakes as the massive creature closes in, its presence overwhelming. The tension in the air is palpable as the moment of confrontation draws near. He is seen narrowly dodging the Lord of the Mountain's massive antlers. He thinks to himself that the previous rushes were manageable, but if he gets hit with this charge, even his hardening ability won't be enough to protect him. The sheer force and speed of the beast are emphasized as he takes evasive actions, realizing the critical danger of the situation. He stands beneath a large tree, looking up with a serious expression, thinking about his next move. Clara watches anxiously from behind some bushes. He knows he can't counterattack and is unsure if he can dodge the next assault. He formulates a plan as he watches the deer. He realizes that if the deer can't stop easily, it also can't change direction quickly. He decides to use the tree to his advantage, hoping to get the deer's horns stuck in it to create a chance for a counterattack. Confidently, he prepares for the deer's charge. He stands firm as the deer charges toward him. He knows the deer will aim straight for him, and he must wait until the last possible moment to move. If he moves too soon or too late, the deer will miss the tree and he will lose his chance. He steadies himself, focusing on the deer's approach, ready to execute his plan with precision. He focuses on the deer, knowing he won't get another chance if he fails. He positions himself carefully, ready to move at the last possible moment to lead the deer into the tree. The deer charges with full force, and Kazusa holds his ground, determined to execute his plan perfectly. The deer crashes into the tree with a powerful impact, its horns getting stuck in the trunk. He seizes the opportunity, his plan having worked perfectly. He readies himself to counterattack, adrenaline coursing through his veins as he prepares for the decisive moment. Kazusa leaps forward with precision and determination, his weapon ready to strike. He channels all his strength into a powerful blow, aiming directly at the deer's vulnerable spot. The deer, caught off guard and unable to defend itself, roars in pain as he attack lands perfectly. He attack lands, but the deer's antlers become stuck in the tree, trapping it. He takes a step back, assessing the situation. Clara watches with concern, realizing that he has taken a significant risk. The dirk struggles, its powerful movements causing the tree to crack under the strain. He stares at the dirk struggling to free its antlers from the tree. Clara shouts from the side, "Use this," and tosses him a small vial. He catches it, realizing it's a potent potion or weapon that could turn the tide in their favor. He prepares to use it, eyes focused on the dirk. He catches the vial and swiftly drinks its contents. Suddenly, a massive sword materializes before him, its presence radiating power. He grips the hilt firmly, feeling an immense surge of strength course through him. Determined, he readies himself to strike the dirk, knowing this is his best chance to defeat it. He charges at the dirk, swinging the massive sword with all his might. The dirk is momentarily stunned by the sudden force, but he is thrown back by the recoil. He crashes to the ground, the impact knocking the wind out of him. Clara watches in horror as he struggles to get back on his feet, the dirk looming ominously in the background. He lies on the ground, gripping the sword tightly. He reassures himself that he's still alive and that he can do this. At this distance, he believes he can make a difference. Gathering his strength, he rises to his feet, determined to fight back. The sword in his hand isn't just any tool, it's a weapon. With a surge of resolve, he prepares to face the dirk once more, ready to strike with all his might. He gathers all his strength and prepares for the final strike. He raises his sword high above his head, his eyes focused and determined. With a powerful leap, he brings the sword down with all his might, aiming directly at the dirk. In a desperate shout, he declares, "It's over." With a final, mighty swing, his sword slices through the air and lands a decisive blow on the dirk. The impact is powerful and blood splatters as the dirk's strength begins to wane. The beast stumbles, its ferocious energy draining away. Yu breathes heavily, his heart pounding from the exertion, but a sense of victory fills the air as the formidable creature finally succumbs to his attack. Dirk falls, and he, relieved and triumphant, a mysterious child approaches him who is taken aback. The child's serious expression contrasts with Kazusa's surprise as he questions if she is just a child. The child collapses in front of Kazusa, expressing her extreme hunger. He reacts with confusion and concern as the scene ends. Yuji reassures Clara that he's okay. Clara is overjoyed and tearfully expresses her relief that he is unharmed. They sit together by a campfire, with Yuji trying to comfort her. He reassures Clara that they are both safe and that it was worth taking the risk. Clara is relieved but still emotional. He announces that the food is ready, bringing some comfort to the situation. He prepares the meat on a leaf, setting it on the heated stone. He eagerly announces that it's time to eat, signaling the start of their meal. Clara seems excited as well. He mentions that today's dinner is dirk, explaining it's grilled meat they can cook themselves. He recalls the hassle of butchering and preparing the dirk, grateful for his prior experience with deer. He notes his own hunger after the hard work. He and Clara try to wake the girl who lent him the sword, but she remains unconscious since collapsing. They realize it could be dangerous for her if she doesn't wake up soon. Yuji and Clara decide to enjoy their meal since the girl remains unconscious. They prepare the grilled meat, savoring its aroma and flavor, and look forward to eating together. Clara eagerly takes a bite of the grilled meat, savoring its taste, while Yuji looks on, ready to join in the meal. Yuji and Clara are thrilled by the delicious taste of the grilled meat, describing it as sweet and light, with an amazing umami from the fat. Yuji and Clara are amazed by the luxurious, melt-in-the-mouth texture of the meat, finding it incredibly delicious and unlike anything they've tasted before. They appreciate the bounty of the mountains, which adds to the flavor. Yuji and Clara decide to eat more, particularly the thigh meat. Yuji notes that while it's a favorite, the thigh might be too plain compared to the sirloin they had earlier, which had concentrated umami from the fat. They enjoy the meal while grilling more meat. Yuji finds the lean thigh meat lacking compared to the marbled sirloin, but appreciates the powerful umami essence and sweet fat. Clara enjoys the meal, expressing disbelief at how delicious the food is despite their earlier troubles. Yuji reflects on the exceptional quality of the wild meat, noting it surpasses even the best beef. Clara notices his distraction and asks if something is wrong. He admits something is bothering him, but proceeds to grill the next piece. He shares his thoughts about the strangeness of such a strong animal having tender meat. Clara listens attentively, suggesting that it might be something she knows about. They both reflect on the unusual quality of the meat, noting that typically muscular animals would have tough and powerful flesh. Clara explains that strong animals have a lot of magic power, making their meat more delicious. He understands, realizing that magic power influences the taste of the meat. They both enjoy their meal while reflecting on this fact. The more magic power an animal has, the better it tastes, and thus, powerful monsters are more delicious. He acknowledges Clara's explanation, appreciating the logic of a magical world. They continue their meal, eager to try more. Clara prompts to proceed, and they decide to keep grilling and enjoying the different cuts of meat, expressing excitement about potentially stronger monsters to hunt and taste. Clara wakes up, drawn by the smell of the meat, looking ravenous and disoriented. The scene shows her intense craving for the food, emphasizing her desperation. Clara realizes where she is and immediately focuses on the meat. She eagerly requests to share the food, and after a brief hesitation they give her some, which she eats gratefully. Clara enjoys the delicious meat, feeling embarrassed for begging. She apologizes and expresses gratitude, explaining how crucial their help was in defeating the creature. They assure her she was the one who saved them, urging her to raise her head. Clara asks if she can eat more and introduces herself while eating. She is invited to eat without reservation, and she gratefully accepts, praising the food's deliciousness. The group continues to enjoy the meal, praising the seasoning and cooking method. They reflect on the rarity of such cuisine in the mountains and encourage more pride in preparation. Clara finally introduces herself properly. Keiichia introduces herself as a temple knight from Morris and expresses her gratitude for saving her life. She requests to be treated normally despite her rank. The main character explains that temple knights serve God and help those in need, earning much trust. Keiichia acknowledges the peculiarity of his attire and reassures not to worry about it. He asks Keiichia about her age. Keiichia is taken aback by the question, and the other character wonders about her age too. The main character learns that Keiichia is 19 years old, although she looks much younger. Keiichia explains that to become a temple knight, one must be at least 18. She acknowledges that her youthful appearance often surprises people and causes her comrades to look down on her. Kazusa apologizes for underestimating her. Keiichia expresses her gratitude to Kazusa and Clara and explains that she was sent on a mission to investigate reports of a particular sighting in the mountains. Intrigued, Kazusa and Clara ask her what she saw. Keiichia reveals that she was investigating reports of a dragon sighting in the mountains. She explains that her mission is to verify whether the dragon exists or not. Keiichia continues to explain that if a dragon were discovered, it would cause a massive uproar and attract many knights to the mountains. She was assigned to judge the eyewitness claims and report back before such a situation occurs. She also mentions that she encountered difficulties and was on the verge of starvation when she met Kazusa and Clara. He suggests that Keiichia stay with them in their camp for now, as it would be safer and they can help each other out. Keiichia seems surprised but is considering the offer. Keiichia considers Kazusa's offer, weighing the benefits of having a safe base and consistent food supply against the idea of relying too much on their kindness. Ultimately, she decides that having a reliable place to stay and additional help in case of monster attacks would be beneficial for her mission. Keiichia hesitates for a moment, reflecting on how rare it is for people to offer help so freely in dire situations. Finally, she reaches out and shakes his hand. Accepting his offer with gratitude, the three of them, now united, prepare to face whatever challenges the mountains may bring. Then Clara and Keiichia exchange smiles. As they settle into their camp, a sense of camaraderie begins to form among the group, each finding comfort in the unexpected alliance forged in the wilderness. And then Kazusa come and said, "You look like best friends already." Yulu and Clara find the sea for the first time. He is excited about the sea and the sea creatures. Clara notices his excitement and agrees that the sea is beautiful. Yula mentions he wanted Clara to see the sea too. Both of them are happy to be by the sea after a long time. He and Clara decide to go find some fish, eager to explore the sea. They notice that the fish in the shallow waters are not afraid of them. Yulu is excited and ready for the adventure. He is surprised by Keiichia's appearance in a swimsuit, and Keiichia asks if she looks strange, concerned about her appearance. Keiichia, now in a swimsuit, is ready to begin fishing, while Yu wonders if this behavior is normal in their world. Yu, blushing, questions if Keiichia is comfortable with the situation. Keiichia, determined, prepares to fish with focus. Yu and Keiichia dive into the clear, translucent sea, marveling at the underwater scenery. Keiichia notes that such a sea is rare even in Japan. They both prepare to hunt fish, appreciating the difference in perspective from above and below the water. Underwater, Yu and Keiichia notice that the fish are not cautious and seem unafraid of humans. They find their targets easily among the sea creatures and start catching them. They see various fish, each looking delicious and tempting. Yu finds it hard to choose because they all seem amazing, much like the diverse types found on Earth. Eventually, he spots one that looks particularly good and prepares to catch it. The protagonist carefully aims for the fish, trying to capture it without using his harpoon to avoid damaging it. He focuses intently on the fish's movements, making a swift grab with his bare hands. As the protagonist reaches for the fish, it suddenly charges at him with surprising speed. The unexpected attack startles him, causing him to react quickly. After the fish's surprising charge, the protagonist surfaces, gasping and shaking off the shock. He hears a loud sound, checks on his companion, and reassures her that he's okay despite being startled. The protagonist expresses confusion about the fish's unexpected behavior. The protagonist and his companion sit down to discuss the fish. She explains that the fish, known as a cymbal fish, makes a loud noise to scare predators. They realize the noise-making organ is considered a delicacy. The protagonist feels a bit disappointed for letting it escape, but she encourages him by pointing out there are plenty more fish in the sea. Determined, he resolves not to let his guard down next time. Reflecting on his previous mistake, the protagonist decides to approach his next attempt differently. Spotting another interesting fish, he acknowledges its peculiar appearance, but knows from experience that such fish can be the most delicious. Determined, he carefully prepares to catch it, this time with a better plan. The protagonist watches the fish closely, noting its movements. With a determined look, he grips his harpoon tightly, ready to strike with precision. He remains focused, aiming to catch the fish without damaging it. As the protagonist aims to capture the fish, a burst of white liquid suddenly surrounds him, catching him off guard. He quickly realizes it's not ink, but something unexpected. The protagonist realizes the white burst was actually a stream of air bubbles meant to blind him. Determined to continue his hunt, he notices a shadow within the bubbles, indicating the fish's position. Focused and determined, the protagonist prepares to strike, noticing the fish's exact position through the bubbles. With a swift and precise move, he targets the fish. With a triumphant yell, the protagonist raises the speared fish above his head, proud of his successful catch. He feels a rush of excitement and accomplishment. The protagonist and Keiichi sit on the rocks, enjoying the calmness of the sea. They talk about the differences between this peaceful place and the harsh Badlands. Keiichi asks what the Badlands are, and the protagonist explains that they are areas unsuitable for people to live in. The protagonist explains that the Badlands are extreme environments, either very hot or cold, with swampy lands or no rainfall. Monsters living there are dangerous because they are adapted to such harsh conditions. Part of the knight's job is to hunt these monsters when they wander out of the Badlands. The protagonist mentions that the dragon they are searching for is a creature that usually resides in the Badlands. The protagonist wonders if there are many tasty monsters in the Badlands. Keiichi confirms that there are indeed many delicious monsters there. She explains that adventurers seeking these monsters often venture into the Badlands. However, it is dangerous and many temple knights lose their lives in these harsh conditions. Searching for missing knights is a common task, and it often ends in tragedy. Keiichi explains that the Badlands are dangerous, and people who get lost there are usually considered dead. The temple knights rarely give travel permissions to prevent more casualties, except for important individuals. As they enjoy the tranquil scenery, the protagonist mentions liking the peaceful view. Keiichi, however, notes that sometimes even seemingly safe areas can be deceptive, and danger might still lurk. The protagonist reassures Keiichi that knowing the dangers of the mountains will help her be safe next time. Despite the chaotic situation, Keiichi feels a sense of safety from his confidence, even though he's also in the middle of a difficult situation. In this challenging situation, Yu's enthusiasm and vitality shine through, making those around him feel more alive and resilient despite the hardships they face. Keiichi reflects on her situation, realizing that despite her combat skills, she was vulnerable when alone. Observing Yu's resilience and enthusiasm, she resolves to learn from his positive attitude and strength. Looking out over the landscape, he reflects on the Badlands, knowing their next challenge lies ahead. He feels ready to face whatever dangers come their way. Yu and Keiichi return to their camp, where they are greeted warmly. Keiichi proudly presents their catch, excited about their successful hunt. The group looks forward to enjoying a hearty meal together, pleased with the day's outcome. The group sits together, admiring the fish they caught, referred to as bubblins. Keiichi enjoys the process of securing food, feeling a sense of accomplishment. They share a moment of pride and satisfaction, appreciating their successful catch. Yu and Keiichi discuss different methods of cooking the bubblins fish, noting that grilling them is a plain but delicious method. They consider the fish's tendency to hide with bubbles when threatened and its messy result if deep fried. You suggest trying a new cooking method despite the risks, spurred by curiosity and a desire for culinary exploration. He comes up with an idea for a new cooking method and decides to give it a try, even if it might not work out. He asks Katya to borrow a knife, which she provides, expressing curiosity about Yu's plan. He reassures her that, at the very least, it will still be a decent meal item, displaying his determination and resourcefulness. He skillfully prepares the fish, impressing Katya with his execution, making it seem like he is a first-class chef. Yu humbly states that anyone can do it with practice and that the basic structure of the fish is similar to Earth's fish, which makes it easier to handle. Katya's admiring gaze makes Yu a bit uncomfortable, but he continues explaining the process, noting the large lungs of the fish used for creating bubbles. He explains the fish's anatomy, noting that air is stored in its large lungs and released through pores that can open and close. Katya finds the explanation fascinating but a bit unsettling. Yu compares the pores to a lotus flower receptacle, which he recalls from memory. As he prepares the last fish, he contemplates its unique structure and the process of cooking it. Katya, impressed by his knowledge and skill, continues to watch attentively. He examines the fish Katya caught and notices something unsettling about it. He recalls that in the past, the poison was in the eggs, not the fish's body. Observing that this fish doesn't have eggs, he deduces that it might still be safe to eat. This careful consideration highlights Yu's attention to detail and knowledge about the creatures in this world. He discovers a parasite in the fish, confirming his suspicion. Despite the parasite, he notes that the feeling of unease has subsided somewhat. As he continues examining the fish, he notices there are more parasites present. When asked by his companions if something is troubling him, Yu brushes off their concerns, attributing his behavior to fatigue and spacing out. This demonstrates Yu's cautious and observant nature, as well as his determination to ensure the safety of his group despite potential threats. He contemplates the parasite found in the fish and deduces it might be similar to Isekais, which can damage internal organs. Realizing the bad feelings subsided after killing the parasite, he concludes that removing all parasites should make the fish safe to eat. However, he decides not to tell Katya, as it's her first catch, and instead focuses on making fish balls from the remaining fish. Yu's determination to ensure safety while maintaining Katya's happiness demonstrates his thoughtfulness and resourcefulness. He reflects on his newfound ability to detect parasites, marveling at the extraordinary skill he has developed. He feels a sense of pride and amazement at his own capabilities. Katya looks at him with a mixture of curiosity and admiration, sensing his satisfaction and confidence. This moment highlights Yu's growth and the special talents he has acquired in this new world. He realizes that parasites are an unavoidable problem when consuming wild animal meat. However, with his newfound power, he can detect and remove them, ensuring safe consumption. This ability allows him to prepare food that would otherwise be impossible in their survival situation, saving time and effort in careful preparation and cooking. This power becomes a crucial asset in their struggle for survival, enabling them to eat safely without the constant worry of parasites. He tells her to look forward to today's meal, sure about his cooking. She happily agrees, saying his food is tasty. He asks her to get some guarica fruit and oil from the camp. She excitedly says she will help and then stay with Clara as he'd asked. He thanks them for waiting and announces that the meal is ready. Clara and Katya express their gratitude and excitement for the food. He mentions that they have to wait for another dish to get done while they start with a simpler one. The atmosphere is filled with anticipation as they prepare to enjoy the meal. He tells them it's fishball soup and asks if they know about it. They express their surprise as they'd never seen minced fish put in a soup before. He realizes that this type of dish isn't common in their world and that Japanese cooking methods might not be familiar to them. They eagerly ask him about the dish he's proud of. With a confident smile, he tells them to behold his pride. Sea and mountain carpaccio, he announces, revealing a beautifully arranged dish. It's the best type of dressing that removes any slight bad odor from the fish and brings out its umami. The dressing is made from mixing fruit oil with grated guarica and adding juice and zest from citrusy type fruit. The girls look hesitant about the dish, and he is puzzled by their lack of enthusiasm for the raw fish. He realizes they might not be used to such food. He realizes that the girls are uncomfortable with eating raw fish and apologizes for not considering their reaction. He decides to eat the raw fish himself, confident in his immunity due to his powers. He assures the girls that they can have the fish ball soup instead. They express concern about the danger, but he reassures them about the nutritional benefits and his ability to handle it. He starts eating the raw fish, appreciating the fresh, citrusy scent and the bold notes from the alpine leeks. The fish doesn't have a strong smell, and its texture is both crunchy and smooth, making him savor each bite. He compares the meal to a work of art, enjoying the delicate flavors. The girls hesitantly taste it and find it delicious, much to their surprise. He tells them the food tastes great and encourages them to try some. They trust his judgment and decide to taste the dish, expressing their belief in his cooking skills. They taste the fish carpaccio and are surprised by its delicate flavor and faint sweetness. He explains the dish to them, noting its lack of fishy smell and its lovely pure scent. They are amazed at how well the citrus fruit goes with the fish and how delicious it is, contrary to their expectations. They express their gratitude and surprise, feeling that tasting this dish was a valuable experience. He then reminds them that there is still the fish ball soup to enjoy, and they eagerly look forward to it. Both the carpaccio and the fish ball soup were enjoyed, leaving everyone stuffed and satisfied. They marvel at the delicious food created in the mountains and express their amazement and gratitude to him, making him blush with the praise. One of them then asks about the nutrients he mentioned earlier, seeking more information. He explains that mana helps recover magic power faster and compares it to nutrients, which have different types and benefits. Just as mana varies, nutrients aid in recovery and can be vital for bodily functions like blood production. He begins to share a story to elaborate further. He tells a story of an expedition that faced disaster in a harsh, snowy land. They survived on fish caught under the ice, but were eventually struck down by a disease, sparing only one person. The disease caused blood to seep from their bodies, and their teeth fell out, creating a nightmarish scene which frightened the listeners. He explains that the disease was scurvy, caused by a lack of vitamin C. The listeners are shocked to hear this and wonder why the guide was the only one who survived. He hints that it had to do with what the expedition was eating, pointing out that the guide was eating something different. He suggests they think about what made the guide different from the others. He hints that the guide wasn't doing anything special, but the others were. She starts to think, realizing it wasn't the type of fish, but something the others did before eating. He congratulates her for realizing that the guide was eating the fish raw, which preserved the vitamin C content. He explains that scurvy is caused by a lack of vitamin C, which can be found in various foods, including fish. However, vitamin C is easily destroyed by cooking or exposure to air, which is why the expedition members who cooked their fish still suffered from scurvy. He explains that heat exposure quickly destroys vitamin C. The native guide used to eating raw fish was the only one to survive because the other's country did not have a custom of eating raw fish. He warns them that it's easy to develop scurvy if they keep eating salted meat for a long time without fresh nutrients. The girls listen attentively, realizing the importance of a balanced diet. He explains that the carpaccio they just had was rich in vitamin C because of the raw fish and citrus fruit. This disease, common on ships and in expeditions, is caused by a lack of vitamin C. He adds that some foods don't lose vitamin C even when heated, like potatoes, which have starch protecting the vitamin. Raw vegetables also retain vitamin C, making eating raw fish reassuring. She asks if eating raw fish usually causes stomach problems, wondering why it was okay this time. He explains it's about freshness. The fish they ate was just caught and still fresh and firm, so there was no issue. He adds that cooking the fish also makes it safer, but transporting fish over long distances causes it to spoil. Next, he explains the problem of parasites in fish. He mentions that fish are often filled with bugs, and if you eat them alive, they can cause a big mess inside your stomach. Cooking the fish kills most parasites, but eating raw fish in survival situations should be avoided unless necessary. He also shares that his ability lets him identify and clean fish before making sashimi. Keiichia suddenly goes pale and seems very distressed, thinking about the bugs in the raw fish. She recalls a past stomachache, realizing it might have been caused by parasites. Keiichia bursts into tears, shouting that she can handle anything but bugs, recalling the horrifying sensation of bugs in her stomach. The others are shocked by her outburst. Yu reassures Keiichia, explaining that the fish she used was carefully checked and cleaned to ensure there were no bugs. He elaborates on methods to remove parasites and emphasizes that not all stomach aches are due to parasites. Keiichia, still shaky, begins to calm down. Keiichia, feeling embarrassed, apologizes for her overreaction. Yu reassures her that the carpaccio was completely safe and bug-free, explaining how invisible harmful elements can exist. Relieved, Keiichia thanks Yu for his care and attention to detail in preparing the meal. He inwardly reflects on the Carpaccio's safety, while the others express their enjoyment and curiosity about raw fish. Yu explains that in his country, raw fish is commonly eaten with simple seasonings like soy sauce. Keiichi and Estelle express interest in trying it in the future, intrigued by its simplicity and taste. He agrees to make the dish if they find the right ingredients, promising a treat for the group. The team, content and excited about the future meal, decides to call it a day and rests under the night sky. With today's food procurement completed successfully, Yu takes a moment to reflect on his abilities. He decides to test and confirm his current skills and strength to better prepare for the upcoming tasks. Yu decides to test his abilities. He starts with his superhuman strength and speed, successfully leaping and running with agility. Next, he activates hardening, an ability that makes his body resistant to impacts. Finally, he contemplates using allure, which attracts animals by making him seem like a tempting meal, but decides against it to avoid attracting anything dangerous in the forest. Yu feels a surge of magical power flowing through him, a new ability that has been incorporated into his being. He concentrates, feeling the energy boiling inside him and then releasing it outward in a controlled burst, testing the extent of this new power. Yu's new ability manifests as foam, covering his body and providing protection. He reflects on the various powers he now possesses: superhuman strength, the ability to attract animals, detect poison, and enhance his capabilities by consuming food. Each power comes with its own unique traits and advantages, making him a formidable survivor in this new world. Clara and Keiichi are taken aback by Yu's new appearance, covered in foam. They initially don't recognize him and react with caution. Yu reassures them, explaining that it's just him testing his new power. Clara acknowledges the strange sight but calms down once she understands the situation. Yu then asks what they wanted to discuss. Yu, Clara, and Keiichi discuss their plans now that Clara's healing is progressing faster than expected. Yu expresses his delight at the good news, suggesting they return to camp. As they start walking, Yu unexpectedly stumbles, catching Clara to prevent a fall. Clara seems distressed but reassures Yu that she is okay. Concerned, Yu apologizes, noting that she doesn't look well. Clara insists that she is fine, and the group continues walking back to the camp. As they sit by the campfire, Clara mentions that she is healing faster than expected due to the good food and mana. She expresses gratitude to Yu for his kindness and help, reflecting on how she would have struggled on her own. Yu reassures her that he is doing his best because she is there, and Clara feels touched by his words. While discussing their plans, Yu notices that Keiichi looks pale and unwell. Concerned, he asks if she is okay and suggests she should lie down if she feels unwell. Keiichi admits to dozing off for a bit and reassures him that she's fine, but Yu and Clara remain worried about her sudden change in appearance. Keiichi explains that she hasn't been able to sleep well since joining the group, frequently waking up as soon as she dozes off. She admits that she didn't mention it earlier because she didn't want to lower the group's morale. Yu and Clara listen sympathetically, acknowledging the difficulty of sleep deprivation in a new environment. Yu apologizes for not noticing sooner and reassures Keiichi that it's not her fault. Keiichi expresses concern that her insomnia might be a burden to the group. Yu reassures her, pondering what might be causing her trouble if environmental factors like noise, temperature, and bedding are not the issue. Keiichi hesitates, looking reluctant to reveal the true cause. Keiichi reveals that her insomnia is due to her fear of insects. She admits that even the thought of bugs nearby keeps her awake, and she's terrified of caterpillars, flying bugs, and beetles. Yu and Clara listen with understanding as Keiichi explains that she was able to sleep the night they met due to extreme fatigue and relief, but has struggled ever since. Yu, surprised that Keiichi didn't mention her fear earlier, offers to help with the insect problem. Keiichi reacts with disbelief, questioning how Yu could possibly deal with the countless insects in the mountains. Yu reassures her that while it might not be perfect, he can at least do something to help. Yu and Clara decide to gather supplies while Keiichi stays behind to watch the area. Yu instructs Keiichi to call out if anything happens, assuring her they'll be back soon. Clara agrees to help, and Keiichi nods in understanding, ready to alert them if needed. Yu and Clara discuss their next steps. Clara is curious about their plan, and Yu confidently instructs her to gather as many leaves as she can and bring them to the camp. Clara hesitates but agrees, while Yu heads off to gather other materials, announcing their goal: to build a house. Yu skillfully uses a knife to cut materials for the house, ensuring each piece is of good quality and can be matched to the right length afterward. Clara watches attentively, ready to help, Yu mentions they need a lot of materials and suggests gathering ID next. They pile up the gathered leaves and branches, forming a neat stack. Yu and Keiichi return to the camp, carrying bundles of leaves and materials. Clara welcomes them back, impressed by their quick work. Yu explains that Keiichi was a great help. Clara then asks Keiichi to gather some wood, specifying the size and cleanliness needed for the pieces. Keiichi, determined and eager to help, acknowledges the task and sets off to gather the wood. Yu smiles and reassures Clara that there is something she can help with this time. Clara expresses her willingness to contribute, feeling glad to be of use. Yu entrusts her with a task, commenting that a girl's touch would be perfect for this kind of work. Clara, eager and determined, happily agrees, promising to handle it efficiently. Yu and Clara share a moment of mutual encouragement as they prepare to tackle their respective tasks. Yu demonstrates to Clara how to split the leaves down the middle, explaining their usefulness for the task at hand. Clara is delighted to find the leaves split easily, making her work more efficient. Meanwhile, Keiichi arrives with a bundle of wood, asking if it's enough. Yu thanks her, acknowledging it as sufficient, and the group continues to work together harmoniously. Yu instructs Keiichi to join them in splitting the leaves. Clara is focused on her task, diligently cutting the wood into pieces. The teamwork is evident as they coordinate their efforts. Yu reassures Clara about the leftover leaves, explaining they will be used differently later. The group continues to work harmoniously, progressing steadily with their preparations. Yu examines the clean materials, satisfied with their condition. He starts setting up the main structure, pushing wooden stakes into the ground to form the framework. Carefully bending and positioning the stakes, he creates a sturdy foundation for their shelter. Keiichi and Clara watch and assist where needed, ensuring everything is aligned properly. The teamwork and meticulous planning begin to pay off as the structure takes shape. Yu takes a piece of woven material and begins attaching it to the framework, securing it tightly. Keiichi watches and cheers him on, while Clara assists by handing him the necessary materials. The structure gradually starts to look more like a shelter, with the woven panels fitting perfectly into place. The teamwork and meticulous effort begin to pay off as the shelter takes shape, providing a sense of accomplishment for the group. Keiichi, Clara, and Yu work together to put the finishing touches on their shelter. Keiichi admires the structure, expressing amazement at how it's coming together. Yu smiles, proud of their collective effort. Clara mentions she'll help ensure there are no holes in the shelter, emphasizing the importance of making it sturdy. The team continues to collaborate, and the shelter starts to take a more defined shape, providing a sense of safety and accomplishment. Yu proudly showcases the makeshift bed, explaining its dual purpose. Not only does it provide a place to sleep, but it also protects them from insects by keeping them off the ground. Clara and Keiichi are impressed by his ingenuity. Keiichi expresses her gratitude for completing the task before sunset. Yu continues by demonstrating how tying leaves together can create a movable door, making the shelter more secure. Clara is visibly relieved and excited about the improvements. Keiichi and Clara stand in awe as they admire the finished shelter. Clara expresses her amazement, remarking on how incredible the structure is. Keiichi, equally impressed, echoes Clara's sentiment, marveling at their accomplishment. The two girls feel a sense of pride and achievement in their hard work. Clara, Keiichi, and Yu sit inside their newly constructed shelter. Yu explains that having a fire inside will only attract insects at night when it's extinguished, leaving the door open to let the insects out as they dislike flames. Clara and Keiichi express their amazement at Yu's knowledge. Yu humbly replies that there are many things he doesn't know, but he focuses on different aspects than they do. Yu looks up at the roof of their new shelter, reflecting on the knowledge he has that seems useless at first glance, but is practical in this situation. He mentions that their ancestors likely built similar structures, but such knowledge has dwindled over time. He expresses confidence in his method, believing it to be more effective and high quality compared to traditional ways. Clara and Keiichi express their gratitude and admiration for Yu, acknowledging that they didn't know how to protect against insects or build a house like this. Clara sincerely thanks Yu, saying she owes him her life, while Keiichi looks at him adoringly, expressing her affection. The scene shifts to an action-packed moment. Clara is seen running towards Yu, calling out that something is headed his way. Yu, with a determined look, acknowledges her warning and prepares to respond. Yu identifies the approaching monster as a spiked turtle, a creature known for its speed and sharp spikes. Clara warns Yu about the dangers, emphasizing its quick movements and potential for injury. Yu skillfully dodges the turtle's attacks, noting its surprising agility. Yu decides to take action against the spiked turtle, recognizing the immediate danger it poses. With determination, he uses his special ability hardening to fortify himself, preparing for the incoming attack from the fast and spiked creature. With a fierce shout, Yu catches the spiked turtle, using his hardened body to withstand the creature's sharp spikes. Clara watches in awe, feeling a mix of relief and admiration for Yu's bravery and strength. Keiji approaches, laughing and acknowledging the effort it takes to secure a good meal in their world. Clara nods with a smile, noting that the meat has a peculiar flavor but can be delicious if cooked properly. Yu chuckles, confident that they can handle the cooking. They discuss the challenges of preparing the spiked turtle meat, emphasizing the importance of proper cooking techniques to avoid any unpleasant smell. Yu, Katia, and Clara decide to head back to their camp, eager to prepare dinner with the spiked turtle they captured. Yu mentions that he will put extra effort into today's meal, and Clara expresses her excitement, looking forward to tasting the unique dish. They arrive at their camp as the sun begins to set, casting a warm glow over their surroundings. Yu prepares the spiked turtle while Katia and Clara watch, feeling like they're on a cooking show. He reassures them that properly dressed turtle meat is just like any other. They laugh and anticipate tasting the unique tempura dish Yu skillfully makes. Yu starts preparing the grass Thai wrap, explaining how it traps prey with its roots. Katia and Clara listen attentively, fascinated by the unique ingredient. They watch as Yu skillfully mashes the leaves to use them in the tempura dish, understanding its versatile nature. Yu explains that the soft part of the plant is suitable for consumption due to its delicate texture and pleasant fragrance, reminiscent of beefsteak plant and umboshi. Katia and Clara find the aroma refreshing and appetizing, noting it would be beneficial for those with digestion issues. Yu instructs to stuff the grass Thai wrap mash between pieces of spiked turtle meat. Then he brings out the flour, explaining how it was essential for survival when Katia was on the verge of starving, emphasizing the importance of having flour in tough situations. Yu explains the next steps: add water and salt to the flour, then mix in spiked turtle eggs to make the batter. Once it's done, coat the spiked turtle meat in the batter. He emphasizes that flour mixed with water can be boiled and eaten, a useful tip for survival. Katia acknowledges, though slightly overwhelmed. Yu explains the next step: heat up a little oil and deep fry the coated spiked turtle meat. As they put the meat in the hot oil, Katia and Clara watch eagerly, their expressions filled with anticipation. Yu reflects on the sensory experience of cooking and eating, emphasizing the importance of seeing, smelling, and hearing the food. Clara and Katia eagerly agree, enjoying the sizzling sound. As the spiked turtle tempura finishes frying, Yu proudly announces it is all done. Clara and Katia admire the delicious appearance of the spiked turtle tempura. They are amazed at how refined it looks, making it hard to believe it's spiked turtle. Excited, they exclaim "Itadakamasu" and eagerly take their first bites. Yu enjoys the spiked turtle tempura, noting its good texture and juicy, wholesome feel from the gelatin inside. He is surprised by its fiber content, comparing it to chicken tenders with a clean mouthfeel. The strong umami flavor enhances the experience, and Yu reflects on how the spiked turtle's muscles, developed for nimble movement in rocky places, contribute to its superior texture. The spiked turtle tempura receives high praise for its amazing texture and refreshing flavor. Despite its initial slight smell similar to regular turtle meat, the thoroughly sealed fragrance from the grass Thai wrap removes any trace of the turtle smell during cooking. The combination of ingredients that were expected to clash work harmoniously together, creating a rich yet refreshing dish. The spiked turtle tempura is a surprising hit, with both girls expressing delight over the delicious deep-fried dish. One remarks that she never expected spiked turtle to be so tasty, while the other enjoys the new culinary experience. Yu explains that he decided to try it because the texture of turtle meat resembles chicken, and it turned out to be a good idea. Yu praises the spiked turtle meat for its strong umami flavor, suggesting it would be even more delicious prepared as karaage. The girls, intrigued by the unfamiliar term, ask what karaage is. Yu explains that it's a cooking method from his home country where chicken is marinated in soy sauce and then deep-fried, resulting in a flavor-packed and delicious dish. As they finish eating, Yu mentions that if he finds something similar to soybeans, he could make soy sauce. Clara expresses her eagerness to try it if Yu speaks so highly of it. Reflecting on the taste, Yu thinks about how much he misses soy sauce. Meanwhile, Katia inquires if Yu gained any new power from eating the meal. Yu considers the potential abilities he could gain from the spiked turtle spikes or the grass Thai wrap's method of hunting. Imagining the power they could provide, He admits he doesn't feel like he gained any new abilities yet and notes it might only manifest when needed. Clara and Keiichi agree it's hard to tell if there's a change, feeling unsure about any new power from the meal. Yu contemplates the potential abilities he could gain from the spike turtle spikes or the grass tie wraps hunting method, imagining how powerful either could be. He acknowledges that any new ability might only manifest when he needs to use it. Clara and Keiichi agree that it's hard to tell if there's any change, feeling unsure about any new power from the meal. Yu recalls past experiences, explaining that sometimes he doesn't gain abilities from what he eats. He mentions accidentally activating hardening and not gaining an ability after eating the dirk. Deciding to test it, he gets ready to see if there's any new power from the spiked turtle or grass tie wrap. Yu focuses his mind, imagining spikes emerging from his bones. He concentrates his awareness in his fist, attempting to generate a spike ability. Despite his concentration, Yu's attempt to generate spikes results in a misfire. He decides to try another approach, focusing on making roots grow. However, both attempts prove unsuccessful. As he reflects on the potential convenience of having both abilities, he realizes that he hasn't yet acquired them. Yu considers trying both abilities simultaneously. Clara points out the advantages of having the grass tie wrap ability, which would make hunting easier. Keiichi suggests trying to activate both abilities at once. Yu realizes he hadn't considered combining his abilities before. Keiichi suggests that combining powers, like having spikes come out when stepping on grass, could be beneficial. Yu acknowledges the potential of his cheat ability to combine powers and is determined to test it. Yu encourages Clara, telling her she's amazing for coming up with the idea of combining abilities. Clara is hesitant, unsure if it's possible, but Yu insists that her thinking of something he hadn't considered is impressive and worth trying. Clara blushes deeply, embarrassed but happy by the praise. Yu reassures her while preparing to try the combination of abilities. He focuses and places his hands on the ground, concentrating on summoning the powers. Yu successfully activates a plant-based ability, sprouting a small plant from the ground. Excited by his success, he wonders how to test it safely. The group discusses using the leaves they had for plates to experiment with his new power. Yu prepares to test his new ability on the leaves they used as plates. He focuses and activates the power, launching the leaves towards the plant he sprouted. The leaves spin through the air, aiming directly at the small plant. As Yu activates his ability, the leaves transform into sharp spikes, launching forcefully and embedding themselves into the ground around the plant. The power he manifests is formidable, leaving him in awe and slightly startled by the intensity of the effect. Yu acknowledges the remarkable power and practicality of his newly acquired ability. He expresses gratitude to Clara for her insightful suggestion, which catches her off guard and leaves her blushing with happiness. The others admire the newfound capability, recognizing its potential in their future endeavors. Suddenly, a loud, menacing roar echoes through the forest, startling Yu and his companions. They quickly realize that the source of the sound is approaching fast, indicating the presence of a new and potentially dangerous creature nearby. Yu and the others brace themselves, ready to face whatever threat might emerge from the shadows. A massive dragon emerges, silhouetted against the full moon, its wings spread wide and menacing. The sight of the beast leaves Yu and his companions in stunned silence, their previous confidence quickly overshadowed by the sheer size and power of this new adversary. The dragon's presence heralds a new challenge that they must face, testing their abilities and resolve to the fullest. Yu and Clara are startled as a dragon descends from the mountains, confirming the rumors. Yu processes the reality of facing such a formidable foe, while Clara readies herself for the challenge. The dragon swoops down from the sky, creating a tense silence as it hovers above the group. Yu and Clara brace themselves, realizing the gravity of the situation. Yu collapses in shock, questioning the reality of what just happened. Clara and the others realize they'd escaped detection but acknowledge the need to leave the area immediately for their safety. They discuss the need to move quickly, realizing the mountain is part of the dragon's territory. Clara, despite an injury, is willing to move if supported. Clara suggests that she might not make it to the village due to her injury and asks to be left behind, considering the situation. Keiichi and Yu reassure Clara, insisting that they would never leave her behind. They emphasize the importance of staying together and supporting one another, regardless of the circumstances. Clara, distressed and tearful, argues that staying together would endanger all of them. She insists that Keiichi and Yu should think logically and leave her behind to increase their chances of survival. Yu and Keiichi both calm Clara, insisting that abandoning her is not an option. Despite not knowing each other for long, Yu emphasizes the bond they formed and their commitment to each other. Clara, feeling their resolve, seems to understand and accept their determination to stick together. Clara, feeling inadequate, expresses her concerns about slowing the group down due to her inability to move well or contribute like Yu and Kachiya. Yu reassures her, emphasizing her value and the importance of staying together. Clara tearfully acknowledges how meeting Yu has changed her life, expressing gratitude for not being alone and for meeting Kachiya. Yu highlights their lack of direction without her, reinforcing their need to stay together. Clara, on her knees, realizes the truth in Yu's words. She understands that the group cannot move forward without her, acknowledging her essential role in their journey. Tears streaming down her face, Clara is overwhelmed by Yu's insistence on her importance. Her emotions burst forth as she cries into his shoulder, calling him an idiot but feeling grateful and relieved. Yu contemplates the daunting task ahead. Clara and Kachiya express their concerns about encountering the dragon, knowing the difficulty and danger it entails. Despite the uncertainty, Yu's determination to press on solidifies their resolve, preparing for the challenges to come. Yu devises a plan to find their way back to the village, relying on the terrain and landmarks for guidance. Clara agrees with determination, and they resolve to start their journey the next day, ready to face the challenges ahead together. The next morning, Yu and Clara greet each other, ready to start their journey. The calm morning light contrasts with the challenges they anticipate facing, but their resolve remains strong. As they discuss their plans, the group acknowledges the lingering anxiety from their night's rest. Despite the unease, Yu and Clara brace themselves for the journey ahead, aware of the dangers they might face, including the dragon that looms in their thoughts. Yu reflects on the previous encounters, considering how manageable the Dirk was with Kachiya's support. However, the looming threat of a dragon, the most powerful mythical creature he knows, feels overwhelmingly real and daunting. Yu acknowledges the sleep deprivation affecting him and Kachiya, but emphasizes the necessity to move forward. Despite their less than ideal condition, they resolve to help Clara and ensure everything is ready for their journey. Yu reflects on the items he brought from Earth, noting their technological value in this world. These possessions, though mundane on Earth, become vital lifelines here, reminding him of his connection to his original world. Yu considers the primitive tools he crafted since arriving in this world. Though he feels a sense of attachment to them, he decides to leave them behind due to their weight. He then reflects on another significant item. Yu grips his makeshift weapon, hoping it won't be needed. He meets up with Clara and Kachiya, ready to continue their journey. After exchanging morning greetings and confirming their readiness, they set off. Clara reassures everyone that she's fine and expresses her gratitude for their support. With determined smiles, they acknowledge their mutual reliance and prepare to face the challenges ahead together. With Clara reassured, the group prepares to set out on their journey. They take a final glance at their surroundings and, with determination, decide it's time to move forward together. With the morning light breaking through the trees, the group shares a light-hearted moment about the comfort of a bed. Clara is thankful as Kachiya offers to carry her, readying everyone for the journey ahead. The makeshift camp is left behind as they set off with renewed determination. The group continues their journey through the forest. Kachiya helps Clara along, and Yu leads the way. They eventually reach a checkpoint where they can take a break. Yu thanks Kachiya for helping Clara, and the group settles down to rest and gather their strength for the path ahead. The group reaches a vantage point offering a beautiful view, prompting a moment of reflection. Yu suggests having a meal, emphasizing the importance of staying hydrated. He provides fruits with high water content, ensuring they have enough fluids for the journey ahead. Kachiya and Clara appreciate the precaution, understanding the need to remain prepared as they continue their trek. The group takes a break to eat the fruits Yu gathered, which, although not particularly tasty, help keep them hydrated. Clara confirms that she knows the way now and points out the direction towards a village down the slope. With this new information, they feel more confident about their journey ahead. As they continue their journey, Yu starts to think about the village they are heading to. He wonders about the villagers' way of life, their architecture, and their food. Clara notices Yu's thoughtful expression and teases him about thinking of food again. Yu smiles, realizing he is indeed curious about the new experiences awaiting them in the village. Yu, Clara, and Kachiya take a moment to rest by the trees. Clara notes Yu's smile whenever he talks about food, finding it comforting. Yu appreciates their acknowledgement of his passion, feeling happy that his interest has positively impacted their journey. They agree that loving something deeply is wonderful. Clara and Kachiya encourage Yu to be proud of his cooking skills, emphasizing their importance. Clara suggests that once they reach the village, you can teach the villagers about cooking, believing everyone will be amazed by his food. This boosts Yu's confidence, and he feels more connected to their journey. Yu thanks Clara and Katya for their encouragement. He promises to prepare a feast once they reach the village. With renewed determination, he suggests they continue their journey without delay. Yu and his companions are shocked as a dragon suddenly appears, descending upon them. The unexpected encounter leaves them momentarily frozen in fear and awe. Yu and his companions are taken aback by the sudden appearance of the dragon. Yu manages to utter the word dragon in shock, while Clara and Katya prepare themselves for the impending danger. The group readies for a confrontation, knowing they must stay strong to face this formidable foe. The dragon's sudden appearance causes panic among the group. Clara suggests running, but Yu, with determination, declares that they will fight. The tension is palpable as they prepare to face the powerful dragon, ready to defend themselves against the formidable foe. Yu, filled with resolve, declares that they must fight and win. The group realizes there's no way to escape, and they prepare for the battle ahead with determination and focus. Katya, filled with determination, questions Yu's resolve. Yu stands firm, ready to protect his companions despite the odds. The dragon looms, presenting a formidable challenge that would test even the strongest knights. Yu's voice is firm as he declares their intention to fight. Katya, despite her initial hesitation, finds strength in his resolve. Together, they brace themselves for the upcoming battle, knowing that as long as there is a chance, they must fight. Yu and Katya stand their ground, their resolve unwavering. As the dragon roars fiercely, Clara offers her support, urging them to do their best. The atmosphere is tense, but their determination to fight and protect each other shines through. Yu and Katya ready themselves for the fierce battle ahead, their eyes locked on the dragon. The tension mounts as the dragon prepares to attack, and the promise of an intense confrontation hangs in the air. Next time, a fierce fight. Yu and Katya prepare to face the dragon, both determined but anxious. Katya grips her sword tightly, while Yu assesses their chances. The dragon looms ominously, ready for battle. This chapter sets the stage for an epic confrontation, with Yu and Katya strategizing their next moves against this formidable foe. Yu and Katya brace themselves for the imminent battle. Yu, assessing their strengths, decides to distract the dragon by positioning himself at the forefront, believing his defense is superior. Katya, aware of the danger but seeing no better plan, agrees reluctantly. The dragon, fierce and intimidating, prepares to attack as they both stand ready for the fight of their lives. Yu insists that he isn't just an ordinary civilian willing to take on the dangerous task. Clara, noticing Yu's determination, seems concerned. Yu turns to her, ready to reassure her and maintain their focus on the looming threat of the dragon. Yu presents a spear made from a deer corn to Clara and Katya, explaining its significance. This spear, crafted long ago, is intended to be their weapon against the dragon. They ready themselves for the battle, understanding the gravity of the situation and the importance of the spear in their upcoming fight. Yu hands the spear to Clara, explaining that while it may seem of little use, he has strengthened the grip with his magic. Clara appreciates the gesture, recognizing that it's all Yu could do to help. They stand together, determined to face the dragon with the best of their combined efforts. Clara encourages Yu to do his best, her gentle smile reassuring him. Yu grips the spear firmly, determination shining in his eyes as he resolves, "I have no choice but to do my best." Clara's words and Yu's resolve signify their readiness to face the upcoming challenge together. Yu takes charge of the plan, instructing Clara to get to safety while he and Katya prepare to draw the dragon's attention. Katya acknowledges with a determined Roger, as Yu leaps into action, aiming to create an opening for Katya to strike. Clara quickly moves back, watching as Yu and Katya engage the dragon with focused intensity. Yu bravely confronts the dragon head-on, shouting his determination to survive and not lose. He manages to catch the dragon's attention, giving Katya and Clara the opportunity to find an opening and prepare for their next move. Yu's resolve is clear as he stands his ground, ready to fight against the formidable beast. Yu, gripping the spear tightly, declares his determination to survive in this world. His fierce resolve and confidence shine through as he prepares to confront the dragon head-on, driven by his will to eat and live in this new reality. Yu's determination grows as he realizes the potential of his newfound strength, amplified by the quality of the food he has been consuming. Encouraged by Katya's words, he prepares to face the dragon with renewed confidence, determined not to let his guard down. Yu channels his energy into the deer corn spear, calling out for allure and hardening, as he braces for the dragon's fierce attack. The dragon's speed catches him off guard, but his resolve remains unshaken as he focuses intently on the battle ahead. Yu is taken aback by the dragon's speed and massive body, which surpasses even the Dirk. He barely manages to avoid a powerful attack, trying to find an opening as he holds his ground. The dragon's relentless assault makes you realize the true challenge he's facing. Yu struggles against the dragon's powerful attack, using his spear to block the onslaught. He realizes that taking another hit would be disastrous. His determination to survive and protect his friends fuels his resolve as he braces for the next move. Keiichia rushes in to support Yu, her blade gleaming with determination. She strikes at the dragon with precision, refusing to let it land another blow on Yu. Her fierce resolve and quick reflexes catch the dragon off guard, giving Yu a crucial moment to regain his footing. Keiichia strikes the dragon with a powerful blow, but it's not deep enough to deal significant damage. She lands a jowly, frustration evident as she realizes the dragon's tough scales are difficult to penetrate. Undeterred, she quickly assesses the situation, ready to launch another attack. Yu realizes that with his current magic power, he can cut through the dragon's scales. He points out that while they didn't hit a vital spot, they've proven that the dragon can be injured, which means it can be killed. This gives them hope and a renewed determination to keep fighting. Yu notes that the dragon's blood is red, and he feels relieved since other colors wouldn't be as appetizing. Clara points out that they've angered the dragon, and Yu acknowledges the importance of this observation with a smile. Keiichia finds his reaction typical of him and smiles back. The dragon roars fiercely as Yu and Keiichia prepare to engage. Keiichia rallies them to keep up their efforts, just like before, urging, "Let's go." Yu responds with a confident "sure." They spring into action, determined to continue their fight against the dragon. Keiichia, facing the dragon's roar, readies herself with a determined expression. She quickly assesses the situation and prepares to counter. Yu calls out his move, Allure, attempting to divert the dragon's attention. The dragon's eyes narrow, locking onto Yu, indicating that the strategy might be working as they continue their intense battle. As Yu charges at the dragon, he smirks, confident in his plan. The dragon lunges forward, but Yu quickly thrusts his spear, aiming for a vital point. The intense impact creates a shockwave, and a small plant begins to sprout from the ground nearby, symbolizing the power of life amidst the fierce battle. Yu's determination and quick thinking keep him focused on the fight, ready for the next move. The dragon roars ferociously, raising its massive claw and slashing at Yu with incredible speed. Yu, anticipating the attack, braces himself and attempts to block the blow with his spear. The sheer force of the impact sends a shockwave through the ground, causing Yu to slide backward, struggling to maintain his footing. The intense confrontation between Yu and the dragon escalates as both prepare for the next critical moment in their fierce battle. In the heart of the battle, Yu braces himself as the dragon charges towards him. The creature's eyes gleam with a menacing intent, its movements swift and calculated. Yu's heart races, fully aware that an ordinary beast would have been felled by such an attack, but this dragon is no ordinary foe. He takes a deep breath, focusing on the immense force he's about to face. With a determined expression, Yu prepares to unleash his full potential, drawing strength from within, ready to confront the dragon's formidable power head-on. Clara and Keiichia, positioned strategically, observe Yu's unwavering resolve, their confidence in him unwavering despite the daunting challenge. In the intense battle, Yu's eyes widen as he notices the dragon's sudden change in stance. He quickly realizes the imminent danger and urgently shouts to Keiichia, "Don't pull back." His voice echoes with concern and determination, alerting Keiichia to the unexpected threat. Keiichia's expression shifts from focused to alarmed as she processes Yu's warning. Understanding the gravity of the situation, she halts her advance, ready to adapt to the new challenge posed by the formidable dragon. As Keiichia prepares to pull back, the dragon unleashes a powerful torrent of flames in her direction. She instinctively raises her sword, channeling her magic to shield herself from the intense heat. The flames swirl around her, creating a fiery vortex. In the distance, Yu watches with concern, realizing the immense danger they are all in. His mind races, searching for a way to turn the tide of the battle and protect his friends. The dragon's roar echoes through the battlefield, signaling its relentless fury. Keiichia and Yu, recovering from the dragon's attack, realize how close they were to defeat. Keiichia, grateful for Yu's quick response, acknowledges the narrow escape. They both understand the dragon's fiery breath is a significant threat, scorching everything in its path. They know their current strategy needs improvement to counter the dragon's power effectively. Keiichia and Yu discuss their strategy against the dragon. Keiichia acknowledges the difficulty she faces, while Yu considers the challenge of supporting her while also dodging attacks. They both realize they need a new plan to effectively deal with the dragon's power. Yu whispers a plan to Keiichia, who is immediately concerned about its danger. Keiichia insists on taking the risk instead of Yu, arguing that her abilities make her more suited for the task. Despite the danger, Yu is determined to proceed with the plan to ensure their survival. Yu and Keiichia exchange a moment of understanding and determination. Keiichia urges Yu to be careful and not to overextend himself. Yu and Keiichia brace themselves as the dragon charges at them. Yu uses his allure ability to distract the dragon, giving Keiichia a chance to move into position. They coordinate their movements to exploit any openings the dragon might reveal. Yu and Keiichia face intense heat from the dragon's attack. Yu realizes that his hardening ability won't protect against non-physical attacks. They need to rethink their strategy to deal with the dragon's powerful non-physical assaults. Yu faces the dragon's fierce roar and realizes the intensity of the battle. Despite his determination, the overwhelming heat and the dragon's sheer power challenge his resolve. The team must adjust their approach quickly to overcome the dragon's relentless assault. Keiichia spots an opening in the dragon's defense and signals the team. They seize the moment to press their advantage, aiming for a critical strike. The dragon, caught off guard, tries to retaliate but struggles against the coordinated assault. The dragon is momentarily stunned, allowing Keiichia to capitalize on the opportunity. She reveals a strategic deception, ready to execute a critical move against the dragon, aiming to turn the tide of the battle. Yu seizes the moment, launching himself into the air with a powerful strike aimed at the dragon's vulnerable spot. His determined shout echoes as he descends with full force, hoping to land a decisive blow. Yu's spear connects with the dragon, delivering a powerful blow that pierces its scales. The impact sends shockwaves through the air as he descends. Determined to bring the beast down, Yu and Keiichia decide to change their attack strategy, with Keiichia drawing the dragon's attention to create an opening. While the dragon is distracted by her, Yu plans to launch a decisive attack. In the discussion, Yu emphasizes the importance of their plan's success depending on his role. He explains that his physical abilities, combined with the twin-bladed sword made from the Dirk's horns, will allow him to pierce the dragon's scales effectively. Keiichia understands the urgency, realizing that their current rate of attack is not sufficient to ensure their safety. Yu acknowledges the challenge of dodging the dragon's attacks, emphasizing that their strategy doesn't account for the dragon's counterattacks. He explains the necessity of a specific element to ensure the success of their plan, aiming for a decisive strike that prevents the dragon from retaliating. This approach focuses on a swift, certain kill to eliminate the threat efficiently. Yu reflects on his knowledge of anatomy, noting the similarities between creatures in this world and those on Earth. He emphasizes his experience in butchering and dressing various beasts and fish, which gives him the confidence to identify weak points and vulnerabilities in the dragon's body. This understanding forms the basis of his strategy to exploit the dragon's anatomy for a decisive attack. Yu contemplates the anatomical similarities between Earth animals and the dragon, betting on the assumption that the dragon's heart is located in a similar position to that of a deer or boar. He realizes that if he can strike the dragon's heart in one blow, it might be the key to victory. This insight forms the crux of his strategy as he prepares for the critical attack. With the strategy clear in his mind, Yu aims for the dragon's heart, believing it to be located in the same place as in familiar Earth animals. As he prepares to strike, his companions look on, ready to support. The crucial moment has arrived. Yu puts all his strength into delivering a decisive blow. Yu's strike penetrates the dragon's muscle layer but doesn't reach the heart. He realizes the dragon's tough hide and muscles are formidable. The dragon reacts sharply, its eye locking onto Yu with intense focus. The dragon's impenetrable defense leaves Yu frustrated, but he feels a sense of resignation, accepting that he tried his best. Keiichia watches, her expression reflecting a mix of concern and admiration for Yu's effort. Keiichia calls out to Yu urgently, causing him to look back in surprise. The dragon, sensing an opportunity, prepares for another attack. Her mind races with worry, and memories of Yu flash before her eyes, fueling her fear that something terrible might have happened to him. Keiichia, overwhelmed with emotion, screams out in anguish, fearing the worst has happened to Yu amidst the chaos and destruction. Keiichia, filled with resolve, refuses to accept the situation and prepares to take action, determined to change the outcome despite the overwhelming odds. Keiichia reflects on Yu's cheerful nature and his deep love for food, symbolizing life itself. Determined to honor his spirit, she quickly resolves to take action against the dragon, driven by her strong emotions and memories of you. Just as the situation seemed dire, Yu emerges from the flames, surprising everyone. His appearance signals a turning point, bringing hope and determination to the group as they rally to face the dragon once more. Yu's sudden reappearance takes everyone by surprise. His determined expression reassures the group, sparking a renewed sense of hope and readiness to continue the fight against the formidable dragon. Keiichia is stunned by Yu's sudden return, unable to comprehend how he survived. Despite her confusion, she feels a surge of happiness and relief. Meanwhile, Yu, standing firm and focused, prepares to confront the dragon once again. Yu urgently asks Keiichia to buy him some time as the dragon prepares to attack again. Keiichia, still processing Yu's return, nods and steels herself for the task ahead. She knows she must hold off the dragon, giving Yu the crucial moments he needs to execute his plan. Keiichia takes a deep breath, nodding in determination. "I got it. Leave it to me," she shouts, readying her weapon and preparing to confront the dragon. Yu, holding his twin-bladed sword, charges forward with renewed vigor, determined to make every second count. "If it's time, I'll buy you plenty," he declares, sprinting towards the dragon with resolve. Keiichia positions herself, ready to support Yu and ensure they have the upper hand in this crucial moment. Yu and Keiichia face the formidable dragon. Keiichia, filled with determination, asks Yu how much time he needs. Yu quickly reassesses and increases the time needed. Keiichia, unwavering, assures Yu that it is manageable and prepares to buy him the crucial time needed for their plan. The scene depicts Keiichia preparing herself for the battle. Yu, observing Keiichia's determined stance and the aura she exudes, is in awe. He finds it amazing and acknowledges the remarkable nature of her readiness, even if he can't fully comprehend it. Keiichia stands poised, her presence commanding attention, ready to face the dragon. Keiichia leaps into action, striking at the dragon with fierce determination. Meanwhile, Yu, observing the intensity of the battle, feels the urgency to contribute. He steadies himself, realizing he can't just stand by and watch. Grasping his weapon firmly, he prepares to join the fray, determined to support his companions. Yu stands firm, feeling a surge of power within him. He recalls how he once doubted his ability to awaken this strength, but now the energy is palpable. With newfound confidence, he prepares to unleash his potential in the battle ahead. Yu charges forward with determination, wielding the twin-bladed sword made from the deer's horns. Keiichia and Clara watch in surprise as he attacks the dragon with newfound power. Keiichia exclaims, "Yu, that's..." while Clara, stunned by Yu's strength, calls out his name. Yu shouts, "Katia," as he continues his assault, ready to face the dragon head-on. Yu charges with all his might, shouting, "Charge," as he aims his twin-bladed sword directly at the dragon. With determination and strength, he yells, "Pierce," and drives the blade into the dragon's chest, causing it to roar in pain. The dragon thrashes violently, but Yu holds his ground, focusing all his energy on the attack. The dragon's eyes widen in pain and fury as Yu pushes his weapon deeper, determined to finish the battle. The intense struggle between Yu's resolve and the dragon's ferocity is palpable, filling the scene with high stakes and raw energy. Yu holds onto the dragon with all his strength, the blade embedded deep into the beast. The dragon's enormous body crashes to the ground with a thunderous impact, signaling the end of the fierce battle. Yu, still holding his weapon, watches as the once formidable beast lies defeated. The scene is filled with a sense of relief and triumph, marking a significant victory for Yu and his companions. As the dragon lies motionless on the ground, Yu stands in silence, processing the magnitude of his victory. The realization of what he has accomplished slowly dawns on him. He looks around, seeing the aftermath of the fierce battle and feeling a mixture of relief and disbelief. Yu's expression reflects the weight of the moment, as he whispers to himself, I did it." Yu raises his weapon triumphantly, shouting with joy and relief, "I did it." The battle is won, and he stands as the hero of the moment. Yu and his companions, astonished and relieved, confirm their victory. The group marvels at their success despite their small numbers and lack of visible injuries. The realization of their triumph sinks in, bringing a mixture of joy and disbelief to their faces. One of the characters, overwhelmed with relief and joy, bursts into tears, expressing her happiness that everyone is alive and well. The emotional outburst brings a moment of tender relief amidst the aftermath of their intense battle. The others, though a bit taken aback, share in her joy, understanding the gravity of what they have just overcome together. The characters reassure each other, calming down from the emotional high. They acknowledge the uncertainty of the battle's outcome, but express relief and gratitude that they are all alive and unharmed. Encouraging each other to smile instead of crying, they find solace in their survival and the bonds they've strengthened through their ordeal. The group shares a moment of relief and joy, smiling at each other. Their expressions reflect the satisfaction and happiness of surviving the ordeal. The scene ends on a hopeful note, with the characters looking forward to the future with renewed strength and determination. The group sits together, sharing their thoughts and excitement about the dragon meat they are about to taste. Yu expresses amazement at the meat's aroma and moist texture, noting how it almost draws the blade in with its slight raw, sweet fragrance. Clara contemplates the rarity of dragon meat, expressing joy at the opportunity to taste it. Katia clarifies that dragons are technically omnivores, not carnivores, adding an interesting detail to their conversation. The scene highlights their camaraderie and shared curiosity, capturing a moment of bonding over a unique culinary experience. They continue their discussion about the dragon meat. One notes that dragons consume plants rich in mana, which likely contributes to the meat's aromatic quality, comparing it to natural herb beef. Another observes that there aren't many edible parts on the dragon, with the limbs being too tough to eat. They speculate that boiling down the shank could make a good broth, though they lack the utensils for it. This conversation highlights their practical approach to survival and resourcefulness in making the most out of their unique circumstances. After settling down, they start discussing their recent encounter. They are curious about how one of them survived the dragon's flame, known as the conflagration from hell. Despite the various types of dragon breath, the survival of their friend inside such a dangerous flame seemed almost impossible. They expressed their amazement and relief, eager to understand what happened and how their friend managed to stay unharmed. The group continues their discussion, with curiosity focused on how one of them survived the dragon's flame. The survivor explains that it was a gamble using foam as protection. He mentions that in his country, urethane foam is used for insulation in houses because air, being a poor heat conductor, forms tiny bubbles that provide effective insulation. This method might have contributed to his survival, though he isn't entirely sure if it was solely due to the foam. The others listen, understanding the explanation and appreciating the ingenuity behind the idea. Reflecting on his newfound power, Yu notes that he didn't fully understand it, but believes his determination and sufficient mana this time made it work. The others listen, acknowledging his explanation. Reflecting on the weapon, Yu acknowledges the spear, which resonates with his power, feeling it became a part of his body. The group considers the implications. Yu reflects on how the spear acted as a key, realizing that storing up mana through eating well played a crucial role in awakening his power. As he shares these thoughts, the group listens attentively, considering the implications. Yu is puzzled as Clara he explains that while eating can increase mana for healing and recovery, it doesn't change the vessel's capacity. She clarifies that growth involves more than just refilling an empty vessel, implying a deeper understanding of mana and its potential for growth. Yu learns that to increase mana capacity, harsh training is required, prompting the body to adapt. Yu emphasizes that simply eating won't increase mana. It's a rigorous process demanding effort and discipline. Yu realizes that his efforts and training have made him stronger. He acknowledges this newfound strength, with his companions affirming his progress. Yu understands that his ability to gain strength and special abilities by eating is incredibly powerful, surpassing his other skills like poison and food detection. Yu is unsure about the origins of his powers but appreciates his companions' support. They express that, despite finding his abilities strange initially, they value him and his skills. Yu acknowledges his companions' support, even though he is uncertain about how to fully utilize his newfound abilities. He feels grateful and smiles at them, appreciating their trust and encouragement. Clara inquires about the dragon's death, noticing fire from its neck. Yu speculates the fire resulted from striking the dragon's scales, igniting stored powder in an organ used for its breath. Keiichia praises Clara's keen observation. With everyone excited, Yu declares, "Let's get to eating." Clara and Keiichia cheer. "We've been waiting." Yu reflects on his growing power, wondering about the unprecedented potential he might achieve. Yu, Clara, and Keiichia reflect on their journey and the battles they faced. They sit around the campfire, enjoying the aroma of the roasted meat. Okura expresses his satisfaction with their bond and the simple pleasures of life. His companions, Clara and Keiichia, prepare and enjoy a meal of dragon steak after their victory. Yu prepares the dragon steak using a simple cooking method with spices and salt to enhance the flavor. He grills the steak to medium rare, sealing in the juices. While he wishes he had proper utensils, he proceeds to cut the steak into bite-sized pieces, ready to share the meal with Clara and Katya. The group anticipates the meal with excitement. As Yu cuts into the dragon steak, he notices that it is incredibly tender, even softer than before grilling. The knife encounters almost no resistance, impressing Yu with the quality of the meat. He reflects on the remarkable texture and how easily it slices, making the anticipation for the meal even greater. Yu prepares the dragon steak, which is incredibly tender and soft. Clara and Katya are eager to taste it, expressing their excitement about eating dragon meat. They are thrilled and amazed by the unique experience, appreciating the delicious food. The scene captures the group's joyful and satisfied moment, enjoying their meal together. Clara and Katya excitedly take their first bite of the dragon steak, exclaiming "Itadakimasu" as they begin. They are immediately taken aback by how delicious it is, expressing their surprise and delight at the taste. Yu observes their reactions, feeling pleased with the success of the meal. The scene captures a joyful and fulfilling moment for the group as they enjoy the rare and extraordinary food together. As Clara and Katya savor the dragon steak, they note its rich flavor and how the herbs balance the fat, making it not feel cloying. Yu reflects on the absence of a sauce, but acknowledges that the meat's umami, enhanced by salt, wouldn't pair well with any ordinary sauce. This scene highlights the group's appreciation for the well-prepared meal and their camaraderie. Yu, Clara, and Katya enjoy the dragon steak, noting its extraordinary taste. Yu reflects on the unique experience of eating dragon meat and wishes for better utensils to enhance the meal further. Despite using wooden forks, they all appreciate the rare and delicious meal they have prepared together. His enthusiasm for new culinary experiences highlights his adventurous spirit and curiosity, promising more exciting discoveries and unique moments with Clara and Katya in their journey ahead. As Yu expresses his eagerness to explore more foods, Clara and Katya look at him with curiosity and anticipation. They seem to have something on their minds, and Clara initiates a conversation with Yu, hinting at a question or thought they want to share with him. The scene captures a moment of connection and potential new plans among the trio. After the group finishes their meal, Katya asks Yu for seconds, to which he happily agrees, noting that the raw meat won't last more than a day. Clara also asks for more, and Yu encourages both of them to eat their fill. The scene concludes with a hint towards the next adventure, heading to Clara's village. Yu, Clara, and Katya finally spot the village ahead, confirming their destination. Clara is excited to see her village again, and Yu reassures her that they are almost there. The group continues their journey, eager to reach their goal. Yu, Clara, and Katya have safely made it back to Clara's village. Yu reflects on the relief of returning to a populated area. Clara is excited, but also feels a bit apprehensive about the challenges they might face in the village. The journey has transitioned from survival to facing new, possibly difficult, experiences in the village. Clara, Yu, and Katya finally reach Clara's village. Clara leads the way with determination, and Yu and Katya follow closely behind. There is a sense of anticipation and readiness as they embark on the next part of their journey together, facing whatever challenges await them in the village. Clara's return to the village is met with a harsh reprimand from an elder, who scolds her for venturing into the mountains alone. Clara, visibly distressed and apologetic, expresses her remorse, highlighting the tension and concern for her safety within the village. This scene emphasizes the protective nature of the village elders and Clara's vulnerability. Upon arriving at the village, Clara is scolded by an elder for going to the mountains alone, while the villagers express relief at her safe return. Yu acknowledges the elder's worry and reflects on the importance of having a place to return to. As the trio walks through the village, a villager recognizes Yu and Katya, hinting at their growing reputation. Yu and Katya meet Clara's parents, Rosie and Resita. They express gratitude to Yu and Katya for saving Clara when she was stranded. Clara, visibly emotional, is scolded by her parents, but also shows relief at being reunited with them. Yu, Clara, and Katya receive heartfelt thanks from Clara's parents, Rosie and Resita, for helping their daughter. Yu modestly deflects the praise, attributing their success to Clara's efforts. The scene ends with Yu feeling a mix of embarrassment and satisfaction from the overwhelming gratitude. Back at Clara's home, the group reflects on their recent journey. Clara expresses her gratitude to Yu, acknowledging that without meeting him, she would have felt overwhelmed by the challenges. Yu and the others discuss the frightening nights in the mountains and how Yu's cooking provided comfort and courage during their adventure. They all feel relieved to be back in a safe environment, appreciating the support they provided each other. Clara and Katya express their deep gratitude to Yu for his cooking and support during their journey in the mountains. Clara mentions how the warm and nostalgic meals helped her keep her spirit up, while Keiichi acknowledges that without Yu, she would have starved. They both insist that Yu should be proud of his strength and contributions. Feeling embarrassed by the compliments, Yu humbly responds to their praise. After their meal, Yu, Clara, and Keiichi discuss their next steps. Keiichi mentions her plan to head back to Morris to report about the dragon. Yu reveals he is thinking of going to the Badlands, a decision that prompts thoughtful reactions from Clara and Keiichi. Yu explains his complicated situation as he doesn't have a place to call home in this world and had planned to set out on a journey. Recalling what Keiichi told him about the Badlands, he decides to head there, intrigued by the strong monsters and the rumors that they taste delicious. Yu reflects on his life and aspirations. He doesn't have any notable hobbies or exceptional skills, but he finds pride in his cooking. He wants to explore unknown flavors using ingredients no one has seen before to create delicious food. His goal is to find and utilize dreamlike ingredients that exist in this world. Yu declares his dream to search out the flavors of the world. He is determined to explore and create dishes using unique ingredients he encounters on his journey. This newfound purpose gives him a sense of direction and pride. Keiichi expresses her reservations about going to the Badlands, citing unpleasant experiences related to her role as a temple knight. However, she acknowledges Yu's clear and precise dream. As a friend, she wants to support him in his pursuit, even if it means facing her own discomfort. This moment highlights the deepening bonds between the characters and their mutual support for each other's goals. Yu thanks Keiichi for her support and assistance with the necessary preparations and permissions to enter the Badlands. Keiichi asks him to promise that he will prepare sufficiently before heading out. As Yu expresses his gratitude, the conversation shifts to Clara. Keiichi inquires about Clara's plans, indicating a concern for her friend's decisions and well-being. Clara appears surprised by the question, suggesting she has not yet decided on her course of action. This exchange underscores the strong bonds and mutual care within the group, highlighting their commitment to supporting each other's dreams and safety. Clara gives Yu some heartfelt advice, urging him to speak his mind now to avoid future regrets. She shares her experience, highlighting the difficulty of staying in touch with someone constantly traveling in and out of the Badlands. Clara, determined, expresses her desire to join Yu on his journey, promising not to hold him back next time. Yu is taken aback by her resolve. Clara reveals that she is a foundling not originally from the village, and that her silver-colored hair is a rare trait associated with a lost tribe. Yu listens attentively, surprised by her disclosure. Clara nods, confirming she is from the manhwa tribe. Keiichi realizes that Clara's exceptional healing abilities and silvery hair make sense now, connecting it to the tribe's legends. Keiichi is amazed to witness what seemed like a fairy tale come to life. Clara explains to Yu and Keiichi that the manhwa tribe were renowned for their healing magic. However, a king seeking immortality captured many of them, leading to the tribe's near extinction. She shares this tragic history to emphasize the rarity and importance of her abilities. Clara shares that some manhwa tribe members managed to escape by dispersing, finding refuge in the Badlands. She expresses her deep love for her adoptive parents, but acknowledges the challenging environment of the Badlands where many of her people went. Clara tells Yu that while she loves her life in the village, she feels the need to find where she truly belongs. She asks Yu to take her along on his journey to explore the world. Yu considers Clara's request and agrees to take her along if she gets permission from her parents. He smiles and reassures her that they can go on this journey together. Clara jumps up and hugs Yu tightly, expressing her gratitude and excitement. Yu, a bit flustered, reminds her that she still needs to get permission from her parents first. In any case, Keiichi acknowledges that Clara's decision is made and reminds her to first recover fully and get permission from her parents. Clara, smiling and thanking everyone, confirms her understanding and commitment. Yu is still a bit confused, accepts the situation, and Keiichi smiles knowingly, having nudged things in the right direction. Keiichi announces her plan to leave for Morris tomorrow to get a head start and prepare for their journey. She promises to set things up for Yu and Clara when they arrive. Yu and Clara express their gratitude and determination. Keiichi praised for their safety and declares their promise to meet again, emphasizing that it's too early to bid farewell. The three of them share a moment of solidarity and anticipation for the journey ahead. Yu, Clara, and Keiichi share a final moment of solidarity, symbolized by a fist bump. Each of them wears a determined and confident expression, ready for the journey and challenges ahead. Their bond is solidified and their paths are intertwined as they prepare to set out on their adventure. The scene shifts to a starry night sky over the mountains surrounding Morris. The caption reads, "Once again in Moiris," signifying the character's return and the beginning of their new journey. The final note declares their intent, now to new lands. Yu and his friends look out over the city of Moiris, ready to begin their next adventure. They're excited and determined, setting off with a positive mindset. Yu and his friends explore Moiris, marveling at the impressive stone buildings and the bustling atmosphere of the big town. They feel a mix of awe and excitement as they take in the new surroundings, realizing how far they've come. Yu is eager to explore the local food culture in Moiris, but Clara reminds him that they have other priorities first. They decide to find something to eat before heading to meet Keiichia, while Yu realizes they need to handle their finances. Clara reveals that she has dragon claws, a rare and valuable item. Yu is excited about the potential to sell them for a good price. They decide to search for a place in Moiris where they can sell the dragon claws and get the funds they need. Yu and Clara try to sell the dragon claws but find out the shop can't handle such rare items. The shopkeeper explains they can only buy one claw, as they would have to turn over their entire inventory to afford more. This leaves Yu and Clara considering other options. Yu and Clara learn that their dragon claws are extremely valuable, worth 50 million hydros for 2 claws. This sum is enough to buy an entire case of jewelry, highlighting just how valuable their find is. They now need to figure out where they can actually sell them. Yu, surprised by their value, agrees to the sale. The merchant disappears briefly and returns with a large bag of coins, causing both Yu and Clara to react in awe at their newfound wealth. With the transaction complete, they thank the merchant and leave, feeling optimistic about their next steps. Clara and Yu walk through the town of Moiris, taking in the bustling atmosphere. As they left the shop, Yu was thrilled at the prospect of a knife made from dragon claw, but their excitement was interrupted when a local thug appeared, clearly looking to extort money from them. Yu firmly declined the man's demand. The man laughed and threatened him, but before anything could escalate, Yu unleashed a powerful attack, ending the confrontation swiftly. Clara expresses concern, but Yu reassures her, and they continue their journey through Moiris. The next day, they visit an artisan's workshop recommended by the merchant, hoping to have the remaining dragon claw crafted into a knife. Yu and Clara find themselves outside a weathered building. Uncertain but determined, they decide to enter, guided by a previous referral. Inside, they meet a gruff artisan named Henry. Yu presents the dragon claw, drawing Henry's astonishment. Henry inspects the claw, impressed by its rarity and quality. Yu explains their encounter with the dragon and how a cathedral knight assisted them. Though skeptical, Henry believes their story and offers to craft a unique knife from the claw, promising it will be exceptional. Yu and Clara, grateful, accept the offer and leave, knowing they have secured something valuable. Yu secretly requests an additional function for the knife, which piques the craftsman's interest after leaving the craftsman's shop. Yu and Clara explore the lively market. They admire the various goods on display, and Yu feels nostalgic as he mentions it has been a while since he last visited. Clara enjoys the bustling atmosphere, and they both look forward to their upcoming adventures with renewed excitement. Upon arriving at the market, they browse various stalls. Clara tastes a new fruit, commenting on its refreshing sourness, similar to a tomato. They discuss how it could be used in different dishes, sparking Yu's interest in cooking. As they continue, Clara notices Yu thinking about cooking again. When she asks how she knew, Clara simply says she just knows. Then she shyly asks if their outing could be considered a date, revealing that her knowledge of dates comes from a book she read once. Clara's affectionate demeanor, paired with Yu's embarrassed but genuine reactions, creates a charming atmosphere. Now, as they continue exploring the market, Yu spots an unusual fruit and inquires about it. The vendor explains it's a nag fruit, known for its sweet and rich taste. Yu asked about the fruit's characteristics, learning it had a delicate sweetness with a citrus flavor. The vendor explained that the fruit grew in dry places and wasn't dried or dehydrated. The couple enjoyed the lively market atmosphere, bonding over their culinary interests. Yu and Clara enjoying a day at the market, tasting various foods. Yu is particularly enthusiastic about the experience, expressing how much he has eaten but still looking for one more snack. Clara, although almost at her limit, agrees to have one more. They approach a stall selling imoni, a type of food that Yu recognizes and eagerly orders. The vendor appreciates their business and serves them the dish. As they savor the imoni, the atmosphere is filled with a sense of satisfaction and enjoyment, marking a pleasant end to their market adventure. Yu and Clara express their gratitude for the food with Yu saying, "Thanks for the food." Both of them taste the imoni and find it delightful. Yu describes the texture and flavor of the dish, noting that it is salty but still fluffy with a really soft texture. He appreciates how the potato is stewed carefully with garum, allowing the flavor to penetrate all the way to the core. The overall experience leaves them both satisfied and happy. You and Clara continue exploring the marketplace, enjoying various snacks. Despite feeling full, they decide to try one more item. The vendor, pleased with their reactions, thanks them for appreciating his food. You and Clara are surprised to learn the vendor is planning to close his shop due to a lack of customers. They resolve to help him attract more business, determined to find a solution as they continue their adventure in the bustling market. You and Clara realize that the vendor's imoni dish isn't eye-catching in the busy market. They understand that if more people tried the dish, they'd appreciate its taste. You gets an idea to create a more appealing version of the dish to attract younger customers. They decide to brainstorm a new recipe to help the vendor gain more attention and save his business. You suggest adding a side dish to the imoni to attract more attention. The vendor is initially confused but agrees to give it a try. Determined to help, you rolls up his sleeves, ready to experiment and come up with a new recipe that will draw in more customers. You decides to borrow the kitchen to create a new side dish. He quickly starts slicing and peeling ingredients, preparing them for frying. Once the oil is ready, he begins cooking, eager to see if his idea will help attract more customers. He observes that the food is simple to prepare, and he is satisfied with the results, setting them aside to let the oil drain off. You completes making the potato chips and offers them to Clara and the vendor to try. They both taste the chips and are impressed, noting that the chips are unique and unlike anything they've had before. The stall owner and Clara are impressed with the simple yet innovative dish, praising you for his creativity and skill. The scene highlights Yu's culinary knowledge and willingness to help others, earning admiration from both the stall owner and Clara. The interaction also emphasizes the importance of presentation and innovation in making traditional foods appealing to younger customers. They discuss the popularity of potato chips in Yu's country and how common foods can still be loved widely. As they part ways, Yu and Clara leave with the promise of returning for more delicious imoni, reflecting on the timeless appeal of good food. After enjoying the meal, the vendor enthusiastically promotes the new potato chips, offering them with every imoni purchase. The combination of traditional and novel snacks draws attention from the crowd, generating interest and bringing more customers to the stall. The vendor's enthusiastic promotion pays off as customers eagerly line up to try the new potato chips along with the traditional imoni. The crowd's positive reaction brings a sense of accomplishment and joy to the vendor. Meanwhile, Yu and Clara, satisfied with their contribution, decide to move on, leaving the vendor with a newfound success. Yu and Clara arrive at the impressive Zeo Temple, noting its grand and imposing architecture. As they approach the entrance, they are halted by stern-looking guards. The guards, with serious expressions, cross their spears and demand to know their purpose for visiting the temple. Clara reassures Yu that even if they aren't allowed in immediately, someone will likely be called to speak with them. The scene conveys a sense of awe mixed with tension as they await further instructions. Clara confidently asked to meet with Katja Philo-san, which surprised the guards. One of them, recognizing the name, clarified if she meant Katja-sama. This title indicated a high level of respect, causing you to wonder if Katja was a significant figure. The guards informed them that to meet Katja-sama, a written request was necessary, and there was no guarantee of a meeting. You and Clara decide to follow the formal procedures to meet Katja, understanding it may take some time. Just as they are about to leave, a voice calls out for them to wait. You is surprised to see Katja herself running towards them. She leads them to a quieter place to catch up, revealing her boredom in their absence and her delight at reuniting. She expresses joy at seeing them and mentions that she told the temple guards about a possible visit. She also mentions a significant person who wants to meet you. Katja explains that her boss, Randall Demetrius, heard about Yu's involvement in a dragon incident and wishes to meet him. The guards, realizing the importance, apologize for their earlier behavior and invite Yu and Clara inside to meet Randall. Inside the temple, Katja reassures Yu and Clara that they have done nothing wrong and continues to treat her as usual. She leads them to meet Randall Demetrius-sama, explaining that while the temple staff are dedicated, they can be a bit inflexible. Katja hints at the high regard in which Randall holds Yu, making the upcoming meeting significant. The meeting room itself is regal, with Randall seated at a large desk, flanked by his attendants. The atmosphere is heavy with anticipation as Yu prepares to meet the important person who has taken an interest in him. Randall welcomes them, thanks Yu for saving Katja, and for his help in defeating the dragon, and expresses his gratitude. The atmosphere is formal and respectful, emphasizing the significance of Yu's actions. Randall specifically wanted to meet Yu and thanks him for his efforts. The scene underscores Ketchia's importance and the respect she commands within the temple, as well as setting up the potential for a significant request or mission from Randall to Yu and Clara. The atmosphere is formal, with an underlying tension about the purpose of their visit and the implications of Randall's request. Once the guards leave, Randall's demeanor shifts to a more casual and friendly one. He expresses relief at the departure of the guards, who he finds overly strict, and personally thanks Yu for his contributions. The Archbishop's sudden change in attitude surprises Yu, but they quickly get acquainted, shaking hands as Randall introduces himself in a more relaxed manner. Yu, Clara, Ketchia, and Randall Demetrius talk. Yu is surprised Randall cares so much for strangers. Randall says skills are important, whether born with them or learned. He admires hard work and effort. Randall explains that skills vary and even small things can be harmful. He says recognizing food is important for all living beings and was learned through trial and error. He emphasizes Yu's skill helps survival and striving for a better future. Randall passionately talks about improving oneself and exploring the unknown. He admires this drive and assures it can't be taken away. He then apologizes for his excitement. Randall shares his adventurous spirit with Yu and invites him to join his mission to help people improve. Yu is touched and agrees. Randall and Yu shake hands, both excited. Ketchia and Clara worry if this is the right decision. Randall reassures them it's a legitimate investigation. Yu is eager to start, appreciating Randall's support. Ketchia and Clara discuss Randall. Ketchia is doubtful about the task. Clara found Randall interesting and appreciated his generosity. Yu is thoughtful about the challenges ahead. Yu notices Ketchia is worried. She feels bad about involving him and worries about the task. Yu reassures her, saying her powers have been helpful. Ketchia reveals another person will join them, which troubles her. Yu reassures Ketchia about Randall. She feels better with his support. Yu suggests planning their polar expedition. The group discusses the polar region. They learn about its extreme environments and strong demons. Despite the danger, Yu is excited and ready to prepare. Yu and Ketchia agree to prepare for the White Desert. They start shopping for supplies. Yu suggests focusing on what's available and practical. They agree to buy only what they need to avoid overloading. They find dried wild vegetables and amulet root, which wards off evil spirits. Yu decides to buy it. They continue shopping, focusing on good nutrition. Yu carries the supplies and suggests moving on to the next task. They find a fire starter kit. Yu demonstrates how it works, impressing everyone. The shopkeeper appreciates Yu's respect for the tool. Yu decides to buy the fire starter. He feels motivated and excited about the future. He suggests going back to the inn for dinner. Clara and the others agree, ready to relax and enjoy the evening. A few days later, Yu, Clara, and Ketchia arrive at a grand building. Two attendants warmly greet them and invite them inside, impressed by their accomplishments. The trio is grateful and curious about what awaits them. Yu and his friends are treated well as guests of Archbishop Demetrius. Yu feels a bit uncomfortable, but Ketchia reassures him that they are friends of the Archbishop. As they walk through the city, they receive warm welcomes from the townsfolk. Ketchia is excited to introduce Yu and Clara to a new friend. Inside the grand hall, they meet a cheerful individual who introduces them to Alicia, a young girl who looks tired but happy to meet them. Yu is concerned about bringing Alicia along, but Demetrius reassures them of her potential. Demetrius explains that skills are important, whether innate or learned, and believes Alicia has great potential. Despite initial doubts, Yu and Clara begin to see the value in having Alicia join their journey. Alicia demonstrates her skill, slumber, which calms and makes people drowsy. Yu reveals that Alicia's powers were forced upon her, shocking Yu and Clara. They are concerned about her past and how she got her skill. Clara learns that Alicia was kept in artificial sleep for 10 years. She is shocked and angry. Ketchia is disturbed by secret experiments conducted to create skill holders. Despite her troubled past, Alicia reassures them she likes to sleep. Demetrius explains that knights can't travel to the Arctic Circle, so adventurers like Yu and Clara are needed. He emphasizes Alicia's strength and gives her special permission to travel. Despite her appearance, Alicia is very strong and capable. Yu introduces himself and says he will lead the polar expedition. Alicia is eager to join the team. Ketchia and Clara also introduce themselves, excited to work together. Alicia feels a mix of emotions but agrees to join the group. Demetrius is relieved and informs them they will leave for the White Desert in 3 days. He assures Alicia will have everything she needs. Yu confirms the date, and Clara reminds them not to be late. Alicia thanks Demetrius and prepares to leave with Yu and the others. 3 days later, Yu picks up a weapon from a blacksmith. The blacksmith, tired, hopes Yu can use the weapon well. Outside, Yu proudly shows the weapon to Clara and Katia, feeling ready for their adventure. Yu, Clara, and Katia are on a ship heading to a new world. Katia is excited about their quest and the adventure ahead. Yu reflects on how suspicious Demetrius seemed when dropping off Alicia, but Katia reassures him it was just a disguise. Alicia sleeps peacefully, and Yu feels reassured about their journey. Yu asks Clara about her book, and she explains it's a grimoire for learning magic. Clara is studying both offensive and healing magic. Yu is curious but admits he can't read it. Clara offers to study together and shows a simple spell. Yu is impressed and eager to learn magic from Clara. Yu finishes preparing the supplies and waits for the others. Alicia sleeps nearby, showing calm before their departure. Despite her small size, Alicia is tough enough for the journey. The group appreciates the calm before the adventure. Alicia has been in an artificial slumber for most of her life, mastering the skill since she was 5. The group reflects on what the world looks like to her after so much sleep. They admire her toughness and wonder how she might react if they express their feelings. Alicia wakes up, overhearing their conversation, and acknowledges their compliments. She says she still has much room to grow, surprising Yu, Katia, and Clara. Alicia explains her ability, sleep supremacy, which lets her be aware of her surroundings even while asleep. Yu and Katia are amazed, seeing the advantages of her ability for their adventures. Alicia hints there might be more to her ability, making the group even more curious. Yu reassures Alicia that he trusts her completely. Alicia talks about the importance of staying aware even while sleeping. This strengthens the bond and trust within the group. The group discusses the importance of staying vigilant. Yu expresses confidence in Alicia's ability to keep watch. Alicia reassures him that she can handle the responsibility, making the group feel safe. Alicia decides to go back to sleep, telling the group they can call her if needed. Yu and Katia express their support, reinforcing their trust and camaraderie. Alicia's ability to sleep while being aware adds to their confidence. In the manga panel, Alicia goes to sleep with a sense of trust and belonging. The group arrives at the White Desert, excited to explore this new area. The group stands in awe at the White Desert, marveling at the floating ice crystals in the sky. The scene is beautiful, but also makes them feel a bit uneasy. Their new clothes keep them warm despite being thin. They see many people getting off at their location. Clara explains it's a relatively easy part of the polar circle. Alicia points out places to store supplies and mentions the valuable stone, Ishwar. Katia notes that adventurers come here to test themselves, but some never return. Yu suggests climbing a hill to scout the area. Katia agrees, noting they need to find a river or its remnants. The group carefully climbs the hill, led by Yu. At the top, they take in the vast snowy landscape, feeling excited about their adventure. They admire the view and discuss the importance of staying hydrated. Yu explains how to melt snow for water. Katia warns about the danger of descending a rock wall. Alicia stands confidently on a rock, ready for the journey. Alicia recalls her past in a confined space and feels joy at the vast world before her. She starts to head back, but the ground beneath her cracks. Yu and the others react with concern. Yu reaches out to help her, and Alicia struggles to stay safe. Yu advises Alicia to be more careful. She apologizes respectfully. Clara and Katia check on them, ensuring they are okay. Katia insists on checking Alicia for injuries. Alicia offers to use her healing magic if anyone gets hurt. Yu is relieved that Alicia is safe. He emphasizes the importance of being careful and finding water. Alicia thanks Yu, and he appreciates her politeness. Zisha spots a flowing water source nearby. The group is excited and relieved to find water. Yu confirms it's safe to drink and enjoys the fresh water. Clara mentions the hassle of getting water, and Katia suggests setting up the tent higher up to avoid danger. Yu agrees and decides to find food, with Katia volunteering to go with him. Yu and Katia search for food and come across small creatures. Yu plans a surprise attack and tells Alicia to stay back. He uses his attraction ability to stop the creatures and fights them off, using his skills to deflect their attacks. Yu struggles with the fast-moving enemies but stays determined. He focuses and launches a powerful attack, catching a large creature. Alicia's slumber skill helps put the creature to sleep. After the fight, Yu prepares to cook. He grinds the meat, including the bones, and adds spices. He explains the dish, Chitatapu, an Ainu cooking style. He uses a special tool to start a fire, surprising everyone. Yu adds dried vegetables to the pot and announces the meal is ready. The group enjoys the dish, appreciating its flavors and textures. They reflect on how Yu's cooking brings joy and comfort, making their adventure more enjoyable. After the meal, they joke about wanting more delicious food, especially the dragon steak. Yu expresses his enthusiasm for more food, and his companions playfully scold him. On the second day of their expedition, the group pushes forward despite the challenges. Alicia helps Clara up, feeling a bit envious of her potential. Clara appreciates the help but feels slightly overwhelmed by Alicia's expectations. Yu mentions he prepared some food and reveals a box containing chocolates. The group is surprised and curious. Yu explains the chocolates are special, containing crushed nuts boiled with sugar and syrup. He found these items in the market in Mora's recently. He tells them that in this world, chocolate is a popular beverage and snack, especially in solid form. The group eagerly asks if they can eat the chocolate. Yu sets some rules. Everyone gets 3 pieces, and they should limit themselves to 1 piece per day. He emphasizes that while the chocolate won't fill them up, it will give them energy. If they eat it all now, there won't be any left for the rest of the expedition. Clara asks for a piece now, and Yu agrees with a sigh. The group enjoys their treat, finding the chocolate chunky and sweet. Clara questions if there are really nuts in it. Yu admits it might be a bit too sweet but still beneficial. Clara worries about gaining weight, but Yu reassures her that the chocolate is for emergencies and won't affect her if eaten in moderation. Alicia appreciates the treat and Yu's advice. Clara sees the portable, quick energy meal as beneficial for other nights. Alicia finds it simple yet flavorful. Yu's unique ideas impress them, making them feel like they are experiencing advanced culinary innovations. As they prepare to move on, Clara teases Yu about not wanting to gain weight. Suddenly, Yu notices something unusual and points out that the sand in the distance is rising. Yu and Clara realize the sand is not only rising but also moving towards them. Alarmed, Yu realizes something large and dangerous is approaching. The group is stunned to see a giant shark-like creature, known as a deep white, emerging from the sand. The massive beast looms over them, its presence imposing and threatening. They react quickly, realizing the urgency and danger of the situation. Clara remembers that the deep white, a giant shark-like creature, attacks when it hears sound. The group stays alert, ready for the attack. Yu tells Keiichi to watch over the others, saying they can handle the creature as long as they follow its moves. The creature opens its jaws wide, ready to attack. Yu knows he can't face it head-on because of its huge size. He decides to attack from behind where the creature is not protected. The creature moves quickly, making Yu struggle. Yu gets knocked down but assures the group he is okay. He sees the shark using the sand to attack, showing its smart nature. The group realizes staying together might stop the shark from attacking, so they plan to lure it with something. Yu decides to take action and tells the others to stay quiet. Clara, Alicia, and Keiichi trust him and prepare to help. Yu runs to draw the shark's attention. The shark follows him. Yu remembers a dish he ate that gave him a new skill to bounce like a rubber ball. Using this skill, he leaps into the air, drawing the shark's attention. He activates his skill, Repulsion, to bounce rapidly and dodge the shark's attacks. Alicia and Clara ready their weapons. Yu's quick moves give Clara a chance to attack. Clara strikes with precision, her blade cutting through the shark. Her attack shows her great strength. Yu praises Clara's skill. Keiichi and Yu celebrate, noting how big and unexpected the monster was. Alicia, still scared, admits her fear, while Clara comforts her. Yu smiles, saying the monster will make a great meal. He prepares for dinner, with Clara and Keiichi curious and excited to try the new dish. As Yu starts preparing the meal, the group gathers around, eager to eat despite being in the desert. He announces the menu: deep white meuniere and sashimi. The group is excited about the fish. Yu explains that meat and raw fish are popular in his country, but understands why Kachin might be unsure. He reassures Clara about the safety of eating sashimi. Keiichi trusts Yu's cooking and doesn't want to be treated like a child. Yu appreciates Clara's faith in him, saying that sharing the meal makes it even better. Yu begins cutting the fish, noting how easily the knife cuts through. Keiichi suggests just eating it, but Yu considers trying the fins. He explains that preparing the fins takes time, but they taste good in broth or soup. Keiichi and Clara are curious about the taste. Yu shows a piece of the meat, amazed by its quality and fat content. Clara, Keiichi, and Alicia are surprised and admire the beautiful meat from such a fierce creature. Yu regrets not having soy sauce but seasons the meat with salt. He recognizes a plant as wasabi, surprising the group. Yu grinds the wasabi and mixes it with salt. Clara, Katya, and Alicia observe, noting the difference from the store-bought version. He uses the lean parts for the meunier. Yu quickly prepares white shark sashimi and meunier. Alicia, Clara, and Katya are impressed. He explains how to eat the sashimi with the grated root and salt. Alicia finds the food delicious but hesitates to eat the root amulet. Clara and Katya appreciate the meal's effort. Alicia tastes the fresh meal, finding it melts on her tongue and is sweet. Clara and Katya enjoy the fresh, delicious food. Katya savors the sashimi, noting how the wasabi and salt remove any slight smell of blood. She finds the flavor mild and refreshing, like snow. She praises the dish's exceptional taste. Yu thanks her for the feedback. He expresses his satisfaction, mentioning he always wanted to try shark sashimi. Clara reflects on how unique this experience is to the polar regions. Yu feels so content he could fall asleep happily. After their meal, the group decides to move on before the sun sets. They prepare to continue their journey, appreciating the starry night sky. As night falls, they set up a tent and go to sleep under the stars. Yu wakes up in the middle of the night, checking on the others before settling back down. He finds Clara outside the tent, admiring the night sky. He apologizes for disturbing her, but she assures him it's fine. Yu and Clara sit together, quietly enjoying the star-filled sky. Clara is curious about the Murray people, and Yu reflects on their journey in the polar region. Clara wonders if her real parents might be looking at the same sky. Yu reassures her they'll find her parents, and Clara acknowledges his cooking as the reason for her good health. She expresses a desire to visit Yu's country someday, surprising him. Clara apologizes for bringing up Yu's family. He reassures her and expresses his hope of returning home someday, suggesting they go together. Clara smiles and agrees. Yu and Clara share a moment outside the tent, with Katya and Alicia peeking out to check on them. Clara reassures Yu, who feels embarrassed about waking them. The group appreciates the night sky's beauty. Yu agrees with a smile, sharing their excitement. The group enjoys the moment together under the stars. Suddenly, a dangerous creature emerges from the darkness. The deeper they venture into the island, the colder it becomes. Yu observes that as they move closer to the center, the temperature drops significantly. The landscape, covered in snow and ice, feels desolate and otherworldly, reminiscent of the end of the world. Despite the worsening conditions, the group remains determined to push forward. They keep a steady pace, knowing that stopping for too long in the extreme cold could be dangerous. The biting wind and relentless cold challenge their endurance, but their resolve keeps them moving. Their journey leads them to a large, ominous cave that catches Yu's attention. The cave looks like a predator lying in wait, its dark entrance seemingly drawing them in. Despite its intimidating appearance, the group decides to investigate, driven by curiosity and the possibility that ancient humans might have once lived in such places. Yu, always cautious, proposes testing the entrance to ensure there are no immediate dangers before they proceed. He uses a piece of equipment to measure the air quality, checking for any signs of toxic gases. The group watches as he works, grateful for his thoroughness. Yu emphasizes the importance of carrying a torch, not only to light their way but also to detect any toxic gases, such as carbon dioxide, that might be present inside the cave. He explains that the fire from the torch can help identify these gases, ensuring their safety as they explore the unknown. This careful preparation underscores Yu's leadership and practical survival skills. The group listens intently, trusting Yu's judgment and experience. Alicia takes a deep breath, feeling a bit more secure with Yu's precautions. Inside the cave, the group is mesmerized by the sight of Hikari-goke, a glowing moss that absorbs dark magic to emit light. Yu explains that while a similar moss exists on Earth, it does not naturally emit light. As they explore further, the cave presents multiple pathways, each potentially leading to different and unknown destinations. Yu is excited by the prospect of exploring these paths, seeing it as an opportunity for new discoveries. The group discusses their options, weighing the risks and rewards of each potential route. Their collective decision-making reflects the strong bond they share and their determination to uncover the cave's secrets. They decide to follow a path that seems to lead deeper into the cave, curious about what they might find. The air grows colder and the cave's depth hints at mysteries waiting to be uncovered. Alicia suddenly senses something amiss, alerting the group to potential danger. Her heightened awareness proves invaluable as they quickly realize the presence of a giant crab lurking within the cave. Yu, Clara, Alicia, and Katya find themselves cornered in a cave by a monstrous crab. The giant creature's sudden appearance leaves them stunned, its cold mechanical eyes devoid of any emotion. The group quickly assesses their options. The crab's eyes lack the fierce emotions you had seen in previous battles, making it even more unsettling. Suddenly, the crab moves, its massive claws smashing into the ground, sending debris flying. Clara and Alicia barely manage to dodge the attack. Katia suggests they might have been too afraid of this monster to go near it, or it might have eaten them. You realizes they need a strategy. The crab's power and strength are evident, making it a formidable opponent. You proposes a plan, volunteering to be the decoy while the others surround and attack. The group agrees, understanding the risks involved. As they execute their plan, the crab prioritizes the closest targets, its movements mechanical and precise. The monstrous crab launches a surprise attack. The group, momentarily caught off guard, quickly regains their composure and prepares to fight. Yu takes the lead, brandishing his weapon with determination. The crab's powerful claws strike the ground with tremendous force, causing the cave to shake. Yu narrowly avoids a direct hit, but the crab's relentless assault leaves him no time to recover. Katia yells for Yu to stay back, but he knows they must work together to defeat the creature. As the crab lunges at him again, Yu sidesteps and counterattacks, striking the crab's armored carapace. His sword glances off, unable to penetrate the thick shell. Realizing brute force won't be enough, Yu quickly formulates a plan. He instructs Clara and Alicia to distract the crab while he and Katia target his vulnerable joints. The group springs into action, executing the plan with precision. Clara and Alicia unleash a barrage of spells, drawing the crab's attention away from Yu and Katia. Meanwhile, Yu and Katia move in, aiming for the creature's legs and joints. Despite their coordinated efforts, the crab proves to be a formidable opponent. Its mechanical movements are swift and precise, making it difficult for the group to land a decisive blow. As Yu and Katia close in on one of the crab's legs, the creature suddenly swings its tail with incredible speed. Yu, caught off guard, is struck by the tail and sent flying across the cave. He crashes into the rocky wall, momentarily dazed. Katia rushes to Yu's side, her face etched with concern. She helps him to his feet, and he winces in pain but insists he's fine. Katia positions herself strategically to flank the creature. Yu and Katia regroup and launch a renewed assault on the crab's joints. They dodge and weave around its attacks, looking for an opening. Yu spots a weak point in one of the crab's legs and signals to Katia. Armed with her sword, skillfully maneuvers around the crab, exploiting its mechanical weaknesses. Her quick thinking and combat skills are evident as she delivers precise strikes to the joints, slowly wearing down the creature. As the battle intensifies, the crab starts showing signs of damage, its movements becoming sluggish. Yu and Katia takes a sigh of relief as the crab slows down. Anxiously, Clara and Alicia warns them as the crab prepares to attack them again. After the fierce battle with the giant crab, it becomes evident that the crab, although injured, is still a significant threat. The crab's imposing figure showing its resilience and readiness to continue the fight. Yu, Katia, Clara, and Alicia are seen preparing for the next phase of the battle, their expressions a mix of determination and concern. Katia begins to focus intensely on casting a powerful spell. Her concentration is palpable, and magical energy starts to swirl around her. This moment is crucial as it indicates that Katia's spell could turn the tide of the battle. Their friends understands the importance of this spell and stands ready to protect her at all costs. Yu, in particular, looks anxious but steadfast, ready to intercept any attacks aimed at Katia. As the magical energy around her reaches a peak, culminating in a blinding flash of light as she releases the spell. The crab is momentarily stunned, its movements sluggish from the impact of the spell. Seizing this opportunity, Yu steps forward with a different technique to exploit the crab's weakened state. This coordinated effort highlights the team's strategy and the importance of their unity. The group's relentless attacks, each member playing a critical role in wearing down the crab. As the battle progresses, the crab's resilience continues to challenge them. At a critical moment, the crab makes a sudden and lethal move towards Alicia, its massive claw descending with terrifying speed. It is at this moment that Yu intervenes, his quick reflexes and decisive action saving Alicia from what could have been a fatal blow. He throws himself into the path of the attack, managing to deflect the claw just in time. The force of the impact sends both of them sprawling, but Alicia is safe, thanks to Yu's timely intervention. As the dust settles and the immediate threat subsides, Alicia finds herself overwhelmed by the gravity of Yu's actions. With the crab finally defeated after a series of coordinated attacks from all three of them, there is a moment of calm. Alicia, still catching her breath and processing the events, approaches you. Her expression is a mix of gratitude and confusion. She struggles to understand why you would risk his life to save hers, given the danger they were all in. This question weighs heavily on her, reflecting both her appreciation and her curiosity about his motivations. In a poignant exchange, Alicia asks you why he saved her. Her voice is filled with genuine wonder and a hint of vulnerability, a rare display of emotion from the usually resolute warrior. Yu's response is both simple and profound, encapsulating the essence of their bond. He explains that he did it because they are friends. He emphasizes that helping a friend in need does not require any justification or expectation of personal gain, highlighting the purity of his intentions. A lighter, more relaxed atmosphere as Yu suggests they rest and enjoy a meal together, a stark contrast to the previous tension. A moment of camaraderie and normalcy serves to ground, reminding them the importance of finding joy and solace even after intense and challenging experiences. Initially, Yu struggles to cut through the crab with a dragon knife, finding it ineffective for the task. Observing his difficulty, Keisha steps in and suggests using the diaker sword instead. Demonstrating her skill and precision, she expertly slices through the tough crab shell with a single powerful swing, impressing everyone with her strength and control. With the crab now properly prepared, they move on to cooking it. They decide to make 3 dishes: crab shabu, grilled crab, and crab sashimi. Yu takes charge of the cooking process, starting with the crab shabu. He creates a broth from deep white fish and crab shells, carefully preparing it to enhance the flavor of the crab meat. The shell is cut out, and the meat is placed on top to be grilled, while some portions are reserved for sashimi. As the cooking progresses, the anticipation grows. The crab shabu is cooked by dipping the crab meat into the hot broth, which causes it to bloom like a flower, much to everyone's amazement. The visual transformation of the crab meat adds to the excitement, making the meal not just a feast for the palate, but also for the eyes. The grilled crab, with its tender and juicy meat, and the crab sashimi, presented in an elegant and appetizing manner, further elevate the dining experience. When the dishes are finally ready, they eagerly digs in. The rich, sweet flavors of the crab meat, combined with the refreshing aroma of the broth, create a delightful dining experience. You and the rest savor each bite, appreciating the unique textures and tastes. Yu, in particular, is struck by the sensation of the flavor wrapping around his tongue, likening it to the experience of a kiss. This whimsical comparison highlights his deep enjoyment of the meal. As they continue to eat, they reflect on the success of their meal, grateful for the opportunity to enjoy such exquisite dishes. The giant crab, which initially seemed like a formidable challenge, turns into a source of joy and satisfaction. As the evening progresses, the friends prepare for bed, feeling content and ready to rest. They set up their tent and settle in, with Clara reflecting on her emotional reaction to the meal. The positive atmosphere helps everyone relax and drift off to sleep peacefully. The following day, they wake up feeling refreshed and ready for more adventure. They talk about the previous night's delicious meal, sharing their excitement and anticipation for the day ahead. Yu takes the lead as they venture deeper into a cave, urging everyone to stay alert and cautious as they explore the unknown. The group's cautious optimism is palpable as they navigate through the cave's intricate paths. During their exploration, they stumble upon another cavern filled with the remnants of old houses, sparking curiosity and a sense of mystery. This discovery hints at a past settlement and adds a layer of intrigue to their journey. The friends carefully examine the area, eager to uncover its secrets and learn more about its history. Despite this, Alicia remains optimistic, believing there must be someone left. They come across an abandoned village within the cavern. The buildings, though worn and neglected, show signs of previous habitation. Alicia's hope diminishes as she realizes no one has been here for a while. She reflects on the harshness of their reality, feeling a mixture of disappointment and sorrow. Yu, sensing her distress, suggests they shift their focus from finding living people to uncovering traces of the memories past. He believes that understanding what happened to them is crucial. The village, with its simple structures and minimal resources, indicates a struggle for survival. Yu points out that the place was not just abandoned but finished, implying a more sudden or tragic end. The realization that the villagers were barely surviving before disappearing adds a layer of somberness to their discovery. Clara, affected by the desolate scene, becomes emotional, prompting concern from her friends. She apologizes for her outburst, expressing that the sight of the village and the remnants of its people stirred something deep within her. Clara, Yu, Alicia, and Keisha are standing before an ancient stone building, the only structure of its kind in the area. Clara, noticing the uniqueness of the building, comments on its stone construction, sparking curiosity amongst them. They face a large stone door, wondering how to open it as it appears immovable. Yu steps forward, using his strength to try and budge the door, but even he cannot make it move. This leads them to consider using magic. Clara raises her hand, invoking an ancient spell, her expression serious and focused. As she chants, arcane symbols begin to glow on the door, indicating that the spell is taking effect. The door responds to Clara's magic, glowing with a mysterious light as the intricate symbols become more pronounced. Everyone watches in awe, realizing the significance of Clara's abilities and the ancient magic she wields. The door slowly opens, revealing the dim interior of the building. Cautiously, they all step inside, with Alicia and Keisha following closely behind Yu and Clara. They find no immediate signs of life, but the discovery of a stone desk and several books catches their attention. Katia, holding a torch, exclaims excitedly about the books, indicating their potential value. The group hopes that these books might offer valuable insights or knowledge about their current predicament. Clara and Yu start examining the books. Clara struggles to read the text, only able to make out a few characters. She hands the book to Yu, but he also finds it incomprehensible. The text appears to be in a forgotten or unknown language, adding to the enigma of the place. To solve this problem, Clara decides to use her magic to cast a translation spell. She explains that this spell is designed specifically for her people, allowing them to understand the text. As she performs the spell, the book's content becomes clear. It turns out to be a journal documenting the history and fate of an ancient people who once inhabited the area. The journal reveals a tragic story. These people were driven from their original lands because of their unique healing powers, which made them effectively immortal. Seeking refuge, they ended up in a remote stone building. Initially, they managed to survive and thrive, but their fate took a dark turn when a giant crab-like creature, known as the Grand Kion, settled in their area. This creature blocked their access to essential resources, leading to their eventual demise. They all listened to Clara's translation with a mix of fascination and sorrow. The story of the ancient people, with their remarkable abilities and tragic end, resonates deeply with them. Clara, in particular, is moved by the plight of these forgotten souls. They all collectively mourn the loss of this civilization, reflecting on the harshness of their fate. As they delve deeper into the journal, they discover more about the Mori clan's efforts to protect their knowledge and magic. The journal is not just a historical record, but also contains powerful spells and enchantments. One particular book catches Clara's attention. It is a magical book designed to assist in conjuring spells. Clara explains that this book is a device that helps channel magic through inscribed letters, a method of manifesting magic by reading and chanting the spells. To demonstrate, Clara uses the book to cast a spell. The letters on the book glow, and she successfully conjures an icicle spell, showcasing the book's power. Everyone watches in awe as the spell materializes, reaffirming the importance of the ancient knowledge they have uncovered. The environment reacts violently to the magic, causing the ground to shake and a large crystalline structure to emerge from the ground. This dramatic event underscores the latent power of the ancient magic they have uncovered. Everyone, though initially startled, quickly gathers around the crystalline structure, trying to understand its nature and purpose. Clara explains that the spell she used was created by the ancient Mori clan. This spell, known as ancient magic, can be utilized by consuming the mana attributes of powerful demons, specifically the Grand Kion they had encountered earlier. Yu realizes that the reason he could use the spell is due to having consumed part of the Grand Kion, integrating its mana attributes into his own abilities. They are trying to piece together the significance of the ancient magic detailed in the book. Clara continues to read from the ancient book, revealing more about the nature of the magic it contains. The text describes a spell inspired by a person who wielded the horns of a wind dragon and commanded storms. This revelation prompts Yu to reflect on his own abilities, realizing that his charged skill might be connected to this ancient magic. Although it's not exactly the same, there seems to be a correlation between his abilities and those described in the book. As Clara reads on, she finds a reference to something called dirks, described as having strong legs, accumulated strength, and antlers of light. This discovery suggests a potential link between the powers Yu has accessed and those of the ancient creatures detailed in the text. Clara speculates that if Yu cannot directly use the power himself, he might be able to channel it through parts of the demon's body, such as a weapon. This theory aligns with Yu's own experiences. He reflects on the feeling that the power of demons he has encountered could be harnessed and used through their physical remnants. They all discuss the implications of this magic. Clara shares that the Mori clan had hidden this knowledge to protect it from misuse by others on the main continent. They all recognizes the importance of this knowledge and the responsibility that comes with it. They realize that by understanding and controlling this magic, they can protect themselves and potentially change the course of their journey. Clara contemplates the potential of the ancient magic, considering its applications and risks. She notes that the book mentions defeating these ancient species to perform the magic, highlighting the dangerous nature of acquiring such power. Clara claims that the book is a demon book, one that only certain individuals, specifically those from her tribe, can read and understand. As the last survivor of her tribe, she feels the burden of responsibility to continue their traditions and knowledge. Clara expresses her doubts and fears about being able to carry on this legacy. She feels inadequate, lacking the special skills and physical agility that her ancestors possessed. Her uncertainty is palpable, as she voices her concern that she might not be able to leave anything meaningful for future generations, just as those before her did. Yu, sensing her distress, reassures her that they are with her and that she is not alone in this journey. He emphasizes that their support can help her overcome these challenges. Clara's emotional turmoil becomes evident as she grapples with her sense of duty and her perceived inadequacies. Yu, in an outburst, encourages Clara to be decisive. His words are intense, urging her to either fully commit to the responsibility or to not take it on at all, emphasizing that it is ultimately her choice and her life. His passionate plea is aimed at helping Clara find her resolve. Clara, after a moment of reflection, decides that she will take on the responsibility and asks for everyone's help in this endeavor. Her declaration is met with support and encouragement from everyone else. They rally around her, ready to assist in any way they can. They all set their sights on their next journey, determined to explore and seek out more knowledge and possibly other survivors of Clara's tribe. Their camaraderie and collective resolve signal a new beginning as they prepare to face the challenges ahead together. Yu, Clara, Katya, and Alicia are standing before an archbishop, presenting their adventures in the White Desert. Recounting their journey into the White Desert, they describe the magical ice that spreads beautiful white snow and the various monsters they encountered, including a deadly battle around every corner. Alicia mentions she wishes to write a book about their adventures, but due to the special circumstances, it wouldn't be entirely factual. Yu displays some of the materials they acquired from the monsters in the White Desert, such as the Grand Kion pincers, deep white shark skin, and bones of the honey marilis. Katya voices her regret at not being part of the adventure to taste the giant crab, indicating the close-knit bond and shared enthusiasm among the group members. Her wish to have participated more fully showcases the camaraderie and the sense of missing out on shared experiences. The Archbishop is amazed by the materials and comments on their flexibility and texture. Clara questions the natural origin of these organisms, finding them somewhat creepy. The Archbishop, fascinated by the materials, expresses a desire to see them crafted into weapons. However, the group mentions that weapons cannot be brought into the temple, thus the Archbishop suggests seeing them outside the temple instead. They appreciate having met someone reliable from the Zhao religion, reflecting on their positive interactions and shared experiences. Katya comments on how Yu doesn't seem like a typical high-ranking temple official, and Clara agrees, noting his humility and reliability. Their next destination, the Plateau of Brilliance. This new location promises further adventure and potential discoveries. Yu, Alicia, Clara, and Katya discuss their plans, with Yu confidently announcing their next goal. Their anticipation is palpable, with discussions about the upcoming joint search and the hopes of making significant breakthroughs. In a bar, the atmosphere is abuzz with rumors about the upcoming expedition. The presence of a young woman, who seems to be contemplating her involvement in the joint search, adds a layer of intrigue. Yu expresses sheer relief and excitement at finding a comfortable bed and a roof over his head after enduring a long period of sleeping outdoors under harsh conditions. Yu's exhilaration is captured as he sinks into the soft, stable bed, a stark contrast to the shaking, uncomfortable makeshift beds he has been used to. His joy highlights the extreme hardships he and his companions have faced and the small comforts they often take for granted. Everyone is gathered. Clara comments on how he seems to have missed the comfort of a proper bed. Yu admits that sleeping in a secure environment where he doesn't have to constantly worry about his surroundings allows him to feel more rested and less fatigued. As they settle into their temporary sanctuary, Clara shares her findings from an ancient book she recently discovered. Holding the book, she reveals that it contains intriguing information that caught her attention, although she hasn't had the opportunity to fully decipher it yet. Clara mentions that the book refers to a family that was very close to the author, sparking curiosity and anticipation among the rest about the potential connections in history that might unfold from these pages. Clara explains that the text talks about a time when there was an abundance of material and spiritual resources, pointing to a historical period of prosperity and stability. As they continued to explore the book, Clara finds a passage that she shares with the group. It describes a grand residence at the entrance to a cave, a place filled with resources and spiritual significance. This discovery adds another piece to the puzzle of the world they are exploring, providing potential leads and destinations for their quest. You reading a passage from the book aloud, describing the Plateau of Brilliance. Despite its dangers, it is a place frequently visited by many. The passage states that there is no other way to escape the eyes of men except from the legendary summit of this plateau. Yu's excitement is evident as he contemplates the significance of this location. Yu asks Clara if she knows about the Plateau of Brilliance, to which she responds that she never thought she'd hear that name again, indicating her familiarity and the notoriety of the place. Clara explains that the Plateau of Brilliance is well known and often visited, highlighting its fame despite its perilous nature. The plateau is a multi-tiered structure within the polar zone, known for something bright and mysterious shining at its top. Clara elaborates that the higher one ascends the plateau, the more powerful the monsters become. Moreover, some people suffer from the curse of the plateau, a mysterious affliction that causes headaches, dizziness, nausea, and loss of motor skills. The origin of this curse is unknown, but its symptoms vary from person to person, and in the worst cases can lead to death. Yu, trying to make sense of this information, suggests that the symptoms of the curse sound similar to altitude sickness. He explains that altitude sickness occurs when people go to places with low oxygen levels, leading to similar symptoms like headaches and dizziness. However, he admits his limited knowledge of this world, cautioning that his hypothesis might not fully explain the curse's cause. As this hypothesis intrigues his companions, especially Clara, who finds his theory interesting and hopes it could provide a more manageable explanation for the curse than an actual supernatural affliction. Clara, Katya, and Alicia discuss the potential implications of Yu's theory. They consider how understanding air density and oxygen levels might help them mitigate the dangers of the plateau. As the group ponders these ideas, they talk about the glow of the summit of the Plateau of Brilliance. Clara explains that the plateau is famous for this glow, which is particularly visible when the sun is out. However, the true nature of the glow remains a mystery. Despite numerous claims over the years from individuals who assert they have reached the summit, no consistent testimonies exist to confirm what lies at the top. They all express a mixture of excitement and apprehension about potentially exploring the plateau. Clara, in particular, shares that she feels a thrill at the thought of uncovering the plateau's secrets. Yu, Clara, Katya, and Alicia embark on an exciting new adventure as they prepare to tackle the Plateau of Brilliance during the joint polar expedition. Clara mentions that the plateau is popular among mid-level adventurers because it allows them to test their strength and track their progress by fighting increasingly stronger monsters as they climb. The group understands that the higher they go, the more formidable the monsters become. Yu's enthusiasm shines through as he acknowledges that exploring together will make the expedition less dangerous. Clara reassures him that the camaraderie among adventurers is a key element of this journey. This joint effort not only makes the expedition safer but also more enjoyable as they can share the experience and challenges. They then delves into a crucial piece of information. No one has ever reached the top of the plateau, making it a legendary goal. This revelation intrigues Yu, who is eager to discover what lies at the summit. Katya adds that the summit is known for its mysterious glow, which is believed to be connected to powerful and rare entities or treasures. This only heightens their curiosity and determination to climb higher. They all emphasizes that the monsters become stronger with each level they ascend. Yu, displaying a mix of excitement and nervousness, wonders aloud how strong the monsters will be and humorously speculates about their potential deliciousness. This light-hearted comment brings a moment of levity, making Clara and Katya smile and further solidifying their bond. Determined to uncover the secrets of the plateau, the group decides to hurry and begin their ascent. Clara reassures everyone that they are capable of handling the challenges that lie ahead. Yu's determination is infectious, and the group's morale is high as they prepare for the journey. Their resolve is further emphasized when Alicia confidently declares their readiness to face the next leg of their expedition. She refers to their mission as the second stage of their polar expedition, showcasing their methodical approach and structured planning. They all remain focused, sorting out their prior responsibilities to ensure they are fully prepared for the ascent. They all display a mix of readiness and fatigue. Alicia yawns, indicating the need for rest before they continue. This moment underscores the importance of being well prepared and rested for the strenuous journey ahead. Clara approaches you in their shared quarters, expressing that she has a few questions for him about their plans for tomorrow. Clara, with a concerned expression, asks you if something is bothering him, considering the significance of their meeting with Demetrius the next day. You, sitting on his bed, seems contemplative and admits that tomorrow's report to Demetrius is weighing on his mind. As the conversation progresses, Clara suggests a plan to keep certain information from Demetrius, specifically about the Mari and Yu's powers, indicating a level of secrecy and possibly a strategic move to protect you and their interests. Yu appears thoughtful, absorbing Clara's advice about maintaining discretion. The next day, where the group is seen arriving at a grand building labeled the Plateau of Brilliance. Inside, they meet Demetrius, who is portrayed as a high-ranking and influential figure. Demetrius commends their decision to take on the challenge of the Plateau of Brilliance, noting its reputation as a formidable trial. He speaks highly of their previous accomplishments, particularly their effortless traversal of the White Desert, and expresses his belief that the Plateau of Brilliance will be a good challenge for them. Demetrius emphasizes the allure of the unknown legend associated with the plateau, highlighting that no adventurer has ever discovered its secrets. His excitement and encouragement are evident, adding a layer of anticipation and expectation to their mission. Yu and the others express their gratitude to Demetrius for his support. Yu, ever polite and considerate, assures him that they will reach out if they encounter any difficulties. Demetrius responds warmly, appreciating Yu's politeness but also encouraging him to be bold, reflecting the adventurous spirit expected of those undertaking such quests. As the group prepares to leave, Yu promises to bring a souvenir next time, maintaining a friendly rapport with those they interact with. This interaction underscores the camaraderie and mutual respect among the adventurers and their acquaintances. Alicia receives instructions from Demetrius, who tells her to ensure that Yu and the others do not get into trouble. This moment highlights Alicia's role as a responsible and strategic member of the team. A humorous yet tense moment occurs when Alicia reacts to Demetrius patting her head, showcasing her strong-willed personality and potential frustration with being patronized. The group, including Yu, Clara, Katia, and Alicia, leaving the building after their meeting. Demetrius, still inside, asks not to be treated like a child, revealing more of his personality and adding a touch of humor. As they walk through a market area, Clara reiterates her earlier advice to Yu, emphasizing the importance of keeping certain information secret during their meeting with Demetrius. They discuss Clara's advice to keep certain things from Demetrius. Yu asks Clara why she gave such advice, to which Clara responds that she does not fully trust Demetrius. She explains that Demetrius is deeply involved in many secrets and is likely being watched closely by the church. Clara also mentions that Demetrius was the one who helped her escape, indicating a complex relationship with him. Clara's cautious stance underscores the need for the group to be strategic and secretive about their knowledge and abilities. Yu, processing this information, understands the gravity of their situation and the importance of Clara's advice. Yu, Clara, Katia, and Alicia navigating a bustling marketplace, reflecting their camaraderie and the practical challenges they face in their quest for survival. As they walk through the market, Clara remarks on the extensive research Yu has done, to which Yu acknowledges the burden of carrying their supplies, noting it is a necessary one, emphasizing the group's reliance on preparation and foresight in the face of potential danger. Yu's pragmatic approach becomes evident as he discusses safety measures with Clara, insisting that the tools they have purchased, although cumbersome, are essential for their protection, especially in hazardous conditions like slippery terrain. Clara, though initially reluctant, begins to appreciate Yu's perspective, realizing the value of being well prepared. They are walking past a graveyard where Yu emphasizes the gravity of their situation, stating bluntly that if they were to die, they wouldn't have the chance to regret not being prepared. This stark reminder underscores the constant threat they face and the necessity of their precautions. Clara's unease about being manipulated into carrying the heavy burden slowly gives way to a sense of reassurance, especially when Yu is the one making the decisions. Back in the marketplace, the group continues their activities, purchasing various supplies necessary for their journey. Yu expresses satisfaction with their purchases, noting they didn't have to worry about money thanks to the currency exchange shop. The shopkeeper's motto, "Not too expensive, not too cheap," reflects the group's need for quality supplies within their budget. As they gather the last of their needed tools, Yu's strategic thinking comes to the fore. He plans to head to the plateau, emphasizing the importance of being well-equipped before they leave the town. They interact with local shopkeepers and townsfolk, highlight their resourcefulness and the practical challenges they navigate in this unfamiliar world. A significant turning point occurs when Yu and the rest unveil a large claw obtained from a giant crab in the White Desert. The townsfolk's reactions range from shock to curiosity. The claw, both light and durable with ice magic attributes, is a valuable find, showcasing the group's adventurous spirit and ability to overcome formidable challenges. An encounter with a blacksmith adds another layer to the story. Yu discusses selling the claw to a currency exchange shop, but the blacksmith is eager to forge it into a weapon. The blacksmith's enthusiasm and expertise promise to turn the claw into a formidable weapon, highlighting the interplay between Yu's practical decisions and the local expertise available to them. Clara's initial resistance to Yu's plans reflects her struggle with their practical burdens. Keiichia and Alicia provide silent but supportive presences, their expressions a mix of concern and determination. The atmosphere in the market is vibrant and full of life, with various stalls offering different goods. However, amidst this lively setting, a sense of tension begins to build up. Clara, ever observant, notices something amiss and shares her concerns with Yu. She expresses a feeling of unease, sensing that they might be followed. This concern is not taken lightly by Yu, who trusts Clara's instincts. Clara identifies 3 individuals trailing them, prompting Yu to suggest they change their location to avoid any potential confrontation. The group subtly maneuvers through the market, attempting to shake off their pursuers. As they move to a quieter part of the town, the sense of being followed intensifies. The trio of followers is revealed: a man with a stern expression, a woman with a mysterious aura, and a muscular figure that exudes intimidation. Their presence is imposing and their intentions unclear. Clara, confident in her skills, confronts them directly, challenging their motives. She introduces herself as one of the best temple knights, a title that carries significant weight and respect. The group quickly splits up to confront the attackers, showcasing their strategic thinking and teamwork. Yu, demonstrating his agility, swiftly engages with one of the attackers. His quick reflexes allow him to dodge and counter the opponent's moves, using his environment to his advantage. The muscular attacker, relying on brute strength, finds it challenging to land a decisive blow against Yu's nimble movements. Meanwhile, Clara, with her sharp sword skills, engages the female attacker. Clara's precise strikes and defensive maneuvers put her opponent on the defensive, showcasing Clara's prowess as one of the best temple knights. Keiichia and Alicia, standing a bit further back, prepare their magical spells to support Yu and Clara. Keiichia conjures barriers and offensive spells to create a tactical advantage, while Alicia uses her healing abilities to ensure that any injuries are immediately addressed. The coordination between the group members is evident as they cover each other's weaknesses and exploit the enemy's vulnerabilities. With 2 attackers incapacitated, the leader realizes they are outmatched. The defeated followers acknowledge the superior skills of Yu's group. They discuss among themselves, with one noting the expected strength of the Holy Knight Keiichia, and another lamenting the effects of a powerful spell, Slumber, casted by Alicia, which one of the followers had fallen victim to. Despite their initial confidence, the followers are clearly outmatched and demoralized. Yu, addressing the remaining conscious attackers, gives them a stern warning. He asserts his determination to protect Alicia and makes it clear that any further attempts against them will not be tolerated. The attackers, recognizing the futility of their actions, decide to retreat. Yu's words, combined with the evident strength of his companions, leave a strong impression on the defeated followers. As the attackers retreat, Yu and his group stand vigilant, ensuring no further threats are present. Keiichia, Alicia, and Yu regroup, discussing the potential reasons behind the attack and the identity of the followers. They speculate on possible connections and the underlying motives that led to this confrontation, considering whether it was solely targeted at Alicia or if there were other motives. Alicia expresses her gratitude to everyone for helping her, believing that despite what Keiichia said, the attackers were after her. The group reflects on their growing strength, acknowledging that their teamwork and individual abilities have significantly improved. Keiichia admits that since meeting Yu, she has felt much stronger, attributing some of her growth to Yu's presence and possibly his cooking, which seems to boost their magical power. Keiichia realizes the implications of Yu's cooking, which makes those who eat it stronger, suggesting that you could become a highly sought-after asset. Despite you downplaying this for now, Keiichi knows the potential consequences could be significant. They all then decide to move on, with Keiichi agreeing to keep her thoughts about Yu's cooking to herself for the time being. The camaraderie and mutual respect among Yu, Katya, and Alicia are evident as they continue their journey together, setting the stage for future conflicts and developments. Yu, Alicia, and Clara navigate a lively town as they decide where to eat before heading to the guild. Alicia suggests they eat something beforehand, and Yu explains that while the guild has a reception area that serves food, it mainly offers small portions meant to accompany drinks, making it unsuitable for a proper meal. This leads to a discussion about exploring the area for better food options. Yu mentions that he doesn't visit this part of town often, making it a perfect opportunity to explore. Clara's growing hunger is evident as her stomach growls, prompting an apology and adding a sense of urgency to their quest for food. As they walk through the market, Alicia excitedly points out a food stall she refers to as the Potato Guy's store, sparking Clara's curiosity about who the Potato Guy is. Yu recounts a previous visit where they found a vendor selling delicious sweet potatoes, which were a big hit. Clara and Alicia express their excitement, with Clara especially eager to eat as she declares her hunger more fervently. Yu reassures her and takes the lead in finding the remembered stall, navigating through the vibrant market filled with various food vendors. The market scene is bustling with activity, and many stalls offer potato-based snacks, reflecting a lively and immersive environment. Yu reflects on the popularity of potato chips in this new world, noting that while he didn't invent them, he introduced the concept, highlighting the cultural exchange between his original world and the new one. Alicia and Clara are impressed by how quickly Yu's idea has spread, with Alicia commenting on its rapid popularity. Clara's enthusiastic response underscores her immediate need to satisfy her hunger, driving the group to hurry and find the stall. Upon finding the stall, the vendor enthusiastically welcomes them, recognizing Yu and his companions. The vendor thanks Yu for his contribution, stating that their idea has helped the stall thrive. The vendor showcases the various innovations they've made with potato chips, including different flavors and preparations. Yu is impressed by the creativity and success of the stall, commenting on how well they are doing compared to other vendors. As they continue to explore the market, Clara's hunger becomes more evident. She insists that they find something to eat quickly, leading Yu to suggest trying some of the vendor's new creations. The vendor proudly presents a new dish, steamed potatoes with butter. The rich aroma and texture of the potatoes immediately captivate Yu and his companions. Yu notes that the butter soaks into the potatoes, giving them a unique and delicious flavor. Clara and Alicia also enjoy the new dish, appreciating the combination of flavors and the vendor's ingenuity. The interactions among Yu, Alicia, Keiichi, and Clara emphasize their camaraderie and the simple joys of exploring new surroundings. Yu, Alicia, and Clara savor the dish, each expressing their enjoyment differently. Alicia appreciating the simplicity and comfort of the meal, while Clara's enthusiastic eating highlights her hunger and delight. Yu reflects on the market's bustling activity and the creativity of the vendors, emphasizing the positive impact of cultural exchange and innovation. After finishing their meal, the group thanks the vendor, who expresses gratitude for Yu's contributions, noting that his ideas have significantly helped their business thrive. This exchange underscores the sense of accomplishment and pride Yu feels, knowing he has positively influenced the new world. The vendor shares their hope of cooking something new and exciting for the group in the future, adding anticipation for further culinary adventures. The vendor also expresses concern for the group's safety, highlighting the adventurous and sometimes perilous nature of their journey. The conversation shifts to the group's upcoming plans, particularly their participation in a joint exploration event. The vendor, surprised to learn they are adventurers, shares rumors about the event, including the involvement of a famous adventurer's child and the potential dangers they might face. Yu reassures the vendor of their carefulness, though the mention of past fatalities adds a somber note. The group's readiness to tackle the challenges ahead underscores their determination and bravery. As they proceed to the guild to register for the event, they observe another adventurer, Seal, receiving her participation card, highlighting the organized and communal aspect of adventuring in this world. Yu is initially separated from the group, leading Clara and the others to wonder where he went. Yu excitedly running after something that caught his interest, leaving the girls puzzled by his sudden enthusiasm. Yu eventually returns, explaining that he discovered a food stall selling a unique treat, chocolate-covered fruit. The group eagerly tries the delicacy, with Alicia and Clara particularly intrigued by the combination of sweet chocolate and the slightly sour fruit. Their conversation reveals a blend of curiosity and appreciation for the new flavors they encounter in this world. As they savor the chocolate fruit, they reflect on the differences between this world's sweets and those from their original world. The girls express their surprise and delight at how the food here can evoke such strong, nostalgic feelings despite being unfamiliar. They emphasizes the importance of food in their journey, not just for sustenance, but also for the emotional connections it fosters. After enjoying their treat, the group heads toward the Adventurers Guild, a significant location for their quests. Yu, brimming with excitement, insists on opening the guild's door himself. Yu and his group, including Clara, Alicia, and Katya, entering the guild hall. They are immediately met with hostile and scrutinizing looks from other adventurers. Yu, feeling uneasy, is uncertain about what to do as the adventurers' critical gazes weigh on him. Yu feeling out of place and scrutinized by the other adventurers. The tension is palpable as two of the adventurers question his presence, labeling him a rookie and questioning his outfit. Katya intervenes, reassuring Yu and the group by her authoritative presence and outfit, which causes the hostile adventurers to back down. Katya explains that her presence as a temple knight often intimidates others due to their strict reputation. Katya, a temple knight, stands out in the guild, leading to immediate recognition and murmurs among the guild members. Her presence causes a noticeable reaction as temple knights are known for their strictness and authority. Katya explains that she wishes to register for the joint expedition, a significant quest that requires formal approval. The guild staff initially hesitates, reminding her that temple knights typically do not register for such adventures, but Katya presents a special permit from Demetrius Randall, a high-ranking official, which grants her authorization. With the permit in hand, the guild staff quickly processes her registration, and she receives her membership card and participation card for the expedition. This official documentation confirms her participation and leaves the staff in awe, showcasing her high status and the weight her name carries. Yu is excited about the new membership cards and the prospect of the joint expedition. He marvels at the intricate designs and official seals on the documents, highlighting the importance and prestige of the upcoming quest. As the group discusses their plans, they are approached by a veteran adventurer named Ciel Francel. Ciel is a seasoned and respected figure within the guild, known for her expertise and no-nonsense attitude. She questions the group's preparedness for the expedition, emphasizing the dangers they will face. Her demeanor is stern and unyielding as she lectures Yu and his companions on the importance of experience, caution, and teamwork. Ciel's warnings are blunt, highlighting the real and present dangers of adventuring, and she stresses that overconfidence can lead to fatal mistakes. Yu, feeling the weight of Ciel's words, responds with determination. He reassures her that they understand the risks and are committed to their mission. Yu's resolve impresses Ciel, and there is a moment of mutual respect as she acknowledges their determination, but also reinforces the seriousness of the journey ahead. The group leaves the guild, still determined to prove themselves. Clara expresses frustration over being judged by appearances, but Katya reassures her, stating that while they might look like children, they are experienced and capable. Katya reflects on the role of temple knights and their serious responsibilities, which include rescuing missing persons in dangerous regions like the polar regions. Finally, Yu and his group resolve to show their true strength and capabilities, aiming to change the perception of them among the adventurers. They are united in their goal to reach the top and demonstrate their skills. There's a sense of determination and unity as the group looks forward to the challenges ahead, confident in their abilities and support for each other. The day of departure, with clear skies and a sense of optimism. Yu notes the pleasant weather as a positive omen. Clara, who shares his enthusiasm, smiling brightly and expressing her excitement about the good weather being a good sign for their journey. The colorful and vibrant scenery of the dock, with ships ready to set sail, sets a lively tone for their adventure. Yu and his friends, Katya and Alicia, are seen amidst the bustling preparations for departure. Yu expresses his wish to be on deck when the ship sails, emphasizing his eagerness and adventurous spirit. Clara, always practical, suggests they board early to avoid the crowd. Alicia, bursting with excitement, exclaims her love for the entire experience. Her wide-eyed wonder and joy are palpable. As they settle into their quarters on the ship, Alicia announces her intention to take a nap and asks to be woken up when it's time to leave. Her ability to fall asleep anywhere, anytime, is noted with envy by Clara, who also shares her own struggles with sleep during their previous mountain expeditions. Katya reflecting on her past experiences. She shares with you and Clara that back when she was still with the Night Order, they would set up magical barriers to ward off demons and insects. The main purpose of these barriers was to detect demons and act as a protective measure against weaker ones, though she notes that sometimes these barriers were not completely foolproof, and some would still manage to get through. Keiichi's expression is contemplative as she recalls these challenging but formative experiences, highlighting her past struggles and the practical knowledge she gained from them. The conversation shifts to Yu's new sword. He excitedly unveils Grand Kion's sword, a crimson blade with a slight curve and a highly flexible thin blade. The sword's unique attributes draw awe and admiration from the group, highlighting Yu's pride in his new weapon. The group is visibly impressed by the sword. Clara's wide-eyed reaction and the collective wow from the group underscore the sword's striking appearance and craftsmanship. Alicia asks if she can hold it, showing her keen interest in the weapon. Alicia examines Yu's new sword, noting its unique design and practical features. Clara, standing nearby, is visibly impressed by the sword's beauty. Alicia's interest in the craftsmanship and Clara's admiration. Yu explains the origin of the sword, mentioning that it resembles a katana from his hometown. He shares that he entrusted the creation entirely to the blacksmith. Yu continues to praise the blacksmith, noting the natural shape the material took during the crafting process. Alicia listens with keen interest, impressed by the natural formation of the sword. Yu reflects on the initial thought that katanas might have existed in this world. Keiichi and Clara watch him closely, showing their curiosity about the sword's background and significance. Yu holds the sword, feeling a deep connection to it, comparing it to holding the spear of the Dyad. He considers trying out his new skills. Alicia, Keiichi, and Clara observe Yu, recognizing the potential and significance of the weapon. Keiichi speculates about the origin and potential of the sword's material, suggesting it could be linked to mythical creatures or untapped abilities. The panel shows an image of a mythical creature, hinting at the mysterious and ancient nature of the material used to forge the sword. Yu contemplates whether the material alone is sufficient or if it needs to be crafted into a weapon to be useful. Keiichi and the others sit on the bed, reflecting on Yu's thoughts and the implications of his musings. Clara looking serious, she reminds Yu that it's about time to depart. Yu, realizing he had forgotten, rushes to get ready, exclaiming that he's going. They all standing outside the door of their cabin, ready to embark on their journey. The ship's deck and the sea are visible, indicating they are about to set sail. They are positioned close together, looking out at the sea. The ship is large with various parts of the deck visible, including the mast and ropes. The group stands on the deck, observing the scenery as they sail. Yu notes that they can see the plateau of splendor just over there, pointing towards their destination. They're all seen excited and curious about the new place. The expansive ocean and sky provide a sense of the vast journey ahead. They all talk about the plateau of splendor. Keiichi mentions she heard it's a great place, while Alicia expresses her excitement to see the scenery. Clara wonders what kind of place it is. Meanwhile, a crew member blows a trumpet, signaling an important moment, possibly their official departure.